Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the Sao Paulo Grand Prix qualifying watch-along. As Red Raven says in chat, this time for real, we promise. Take two. The good news, if you want the good news, is it looks like we might get qualifying today. It is raining, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was yesterday, but it is still a wet track. So I think we've got wet qualifying guaranteed, but we are going to get a session today by the look of things. Knock on wood, flash forward 10 minutes and it's all going to get cancelled, but there we go. We'll see how we go. Once again, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who tuned in yesterday and stuck around. It was a tough one. It was a long wait, but it was a lot of fun as well. So thank you to everyone for making that bearable. Really appreciate your support on that one. A lot of fun, I think. And then also a heads up as well. It's on screen. I've put it there now, and I'll take it down and put it up a bit later as well. We have got a new race start time today. So to let you know, that is 12:30 local time, 15:30, so 3:30 p.m. GMT, and 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's quite simply because F1 and the FIA are trying to avoid the worst of the weather, or at least give themselves the best opportunity to get some racing action in. So it gives them options. It gives them a bit more time before daylight. They can delay if they need to. There's a bit more wiggle room. So hopefully we'll get all the action today, but we will see how things unfold. But apparently, according to the forecast, it is rain all day. So we'll see how we go. Hopefully all good, but it's Interlagos. These things could change. It could be bright sunshine this afternoon. It won't be, but it could be. You never know. So we'll keep an eye on it. But that's the story, really, is that it was postponed yesterday, as we know. It's this morning, taking place in about 25 minutes' time, hopefully. Yes, so I hope. I don't want to have to go through this again. We want qualifying. We want the race. And, still no word, by the way, on how the grid would be formed. The FIA haven't communicated that, but I suppose that's something we'll find out if qualifying doesn't go ahead, but it looks like we should be good. It's kind of difficult, man. I'm keeping an eye on Sky, but they're kind of showing footage from yesterday, so I just saw the safety car going around. It looks horrific, but I think that was from yesterday, so we'll see how we go. But all the stuff on Twitter seems to say it's wet, it's drizzling, it's miserable, but it's passable, I suppose, is the phrase we'll go with there. And would you like a stat to kick things off, by the way? I caught it just before we went live, and if you're on X, you've probably already seen it, but did you know that there have been 5 times in F1 history that qualifying has been held on a Sunday, and every single time, Japan 2004, Michael Schumacher, Japan 2010, Sebastian Vettel, Australia 2013, Sebastian Vettel, USA 2015, Nico Rosberg, and Japan 2019, Sebastian Vettel, it's been taken by a German driver. So Nico Hulkenberg for pole today. Absolutely guaranteed. That is nailed on. So the Hulk for pole, absolutely going to happen. We'll see. You never know. So Philip Horton that was actually live footage of safety car. Okay, maybe not then. So Philip Horton has just tweeted, safety car has been out at Interlagos. It looks very, very wet. I think that's an understatement. So the pictures you're seeing, by the way, are from yesterday. Don't panic. So there could be a delay here. There could be. If that was live footage, as they're saying it was, then that could be delayed, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. How are you all today? That's what I should have started with. I hope you're all having a good one. It is early-ish in the UK. A lot of you will say, come on, Sean, 10 a.m.'s not early, but, as a as a video producer, we decided to call it yesterday. That's quite early for me anyway. It's not 2 p.m, so what can you say? Del says Rosberg is finished, so could be Bottas too. Let's not get into that debate. I think we've had that one before on the channel, Del. Yes, so why don't they just delay the sessions, have the race and qualifying on Monday? The next race is Vegas, so they've not got far to travel, says Sam. Hey, Sam, not seen you for a while, actually, Sam, unless I've missed you. So they can't delay till tomorrow because I was explaining yesterday to people, marshals, etc. They're all volunteers. They've got work and they've got lives, and not everyone's gonna be available, and you need a full team of marshals, etc., etc. So it's not as simple. It sounds so easy, doesn't it? We all would if we could push it back 24 hours, but they can't do that. It is a month till Vegas, but I believe, and I may be wrong, I think I caught Ted saying this freight now goes to Qatar, so this needs to be on its way. Even though that's over a month away now, it's still got to travel. So it's all the logistics in F1 are so finely tuned, unless you're McLaren and you have things delivered in a wooden box. Everything is finely tuned, and it's not as simple as just let's just do this next week. Because I was thinking this morning, it's a shame with a month until Vegas. Why can't we have this next weekend if it dries out? But it's not that easy, is it? So Prasad says it's not early, but it's disappointing. The weather plays up. It's early for me. It's definitely early for me. It's not for you, I'm sure. Not as bad as testing when we're up at 5 a.m. and live at 7 or whatever. So, but yes. So just to confirm, it's on screen now. If you can't read that on mobile devices, sorry, I didn't want to make it too big because pictures and that. But new start time for the race: 12:30 local, 3:30 GMT, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. But qualifying is scheduled to start in 20 minutes. But it is quite wet out there. We'll see what happens. I suggest course Seb, Kimi, Jensen and Nico to be marshals so we can have a race on Monday. I think that's a very good idea. Very good idea. Let's get them out there. I've got nothing really news-wise to add today. That's why I'm sort of coming to you immediately in chat, because there's not really a lot to say. I'm sure you've seen it all, and we went over it yesterday plenty of times. The session's delayed or postponed, and we're waiting for that to start. So I'll have a quick look at the weather, because I'm sure some of you will want to know the answer to that. It largely depends where you get your weather from. There's a mix here. So it says right now 100% chance of rain, and that's correct because it is actually raining. But actually this afternoon, that does drop. Yesterday we're looking at 81% plus, weren't we? But actually around lights out, which is 12:30, it's now saying 100%. But actually this afternoon, where the race would have been at 2 o'clock, it's now saying 49%. So if the rain comes down like it did yesterday at the time the race is currently scheduled to start, it could well be that we end up having the race at the normal time anyway, with it being delayed and whatnot. And of course there is this 4-hour window and 3-hour time limit and all that to fit into, but if they don't start the race, they don't have to worry about that. So that's going to be, I don't know, we have confusion every time with this, don't we? So we'll see where we go with that one. Maybe we could consider moving the race to a less damp part of the year. I've got an idea, C64. How about the start of the season, where it used to be? We still had wet Brazilian Grand Prix, but I mean, this isn't every year, but it feels like it's more regular now than it used to be. But then that might be me rose-tinted spectacles going back a bit far to when it used to be sort of second, third races of the season. But that's an idea, I suppose. But you can argue the same with Suzuka, couldn't you? And they moved it to the spring and it was fine. So, but sometimes the weather just rocks up in places like Interlagos and Suzuka. So, hey Annette, hope you're okay over there. All good. I saw in Discord you said you were glad you didn't get up yesterday to watch it or stay up to watch it. So, you're lucky. You're stuck with me now, though. Let's bring back Brazil as the last race, Sean. I mean, I agree, Kiefer, but if we want to move it to a drier part of the season, then probably the somewhere near the start. But and as Mole says, this is Brazil. The climate does not care where you put it on the calendar. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of debate around the calendar. We were doing this the other week, weren't we, at talking about why we've got these big breaks, and I mean, like next year, why have we got a break between Silverstone and I think it's Hungary of about 3 weeks? Why you're going on a summer break? But it's also there'll be reasons, but yeah, I try not to get into the calendar. They're currently showing sort of look like they're analysing things on Sky from yesterday. If you didn't catch the sprint yesterday, Lando Norris took the sprint win. Oscar Piastri playing the team game. He was second place, and Max Verstappen finished third on the road, but got a 5-second time penalty and dropped to fourth. A slam dunk time penalty, ultimately. Did you talk about Red Bull's water-filled tyre protest? We touched on it yesterday, Maury, but I've not actually had chance to have a proper read of it, so I don't want to get too into it. I was going to last night, but I didn't finish. I was setting the stream up and sorting some other stuff out. I didn't finish till getting on for midnight, and then I went to bed, and then I got up this morning to do this, so I've not had chance. But I'll try and have a read after this, and then we'll see if we can get it into the Q&A this afternoon with Stuart when we do the race reactions. So... yeah, not dodging the question, just haven't had a chance. I don't want to sit here and read an entire article, and if I haven't had a chance to read it, I don't want to comment too much in case it's nonsense. So it's from what I've read on Twitter just through scrolling, it sounds fascinating. But Eric Van Horen is saying safety car now on track to test conditions. It will rain all day long. FIA radar reports a chance of rain of more than 80% every hour. So this is what I mean, forecasts all over the place, and when it's Brazil anyway. Yeah. Annette says, "Sai, I totally understand swapping positions, but man, it was hard to watch." Yeah, yeah. I'm with you. Got to be done for Lando's slim or great, however you want to look at it, championship chances, but not good for Aussie P. But he's fine. I'm really hoping next season McLaren are competitive and Aussie P really does stir things up there and wins plenty of races. That'd be good. Red Bull accused McLaren of putting water in these tyres to manage tyre temperatures through the stint. That's interesting. I'll have a proper read of it. I will, Ash, but I just, yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure how that would work, but then, it's me. Doesn't it amaze you guys how wet tyres are absolutely useless, says Vitor. Yes. What amazes me is, and I think Lewis Hamilton made the point yesterday to Stefano Domenicali, I forgot his name, Stefano Domenicali, was, if we had proper tyre blankets for these wet tyres, they could have gone out. So not only are the wet tyres a tyre that people don't really want to use, because usually when it's wet enough for those tyres, it's too wet to go racing anyway, they're stone cold because they've got no tyre blankets. But then are we going to have that problem today? Because if the track is still wet but dry enough to go out and you need the wet tyre, it's 7:30 in the morning over there when this starts, so it's colder. And the tyres are going to be cool as well. So the whole tyre blanket argument, they want to take them away, but you sort of think about, well, fair enough, for whatever reason, saving the planet or whatever and all of that. You sort of look at it and you go, okay, fair enough, but what about conditions like this when we can't go racing? Could we not just stick some tyre blankets on them and try? But they're supposed to be effectively self-warming, I suppose. Drivers go out there, they warm them themselves, so not self-warming, you know what I mean, and then off they go. But when it's like this, it's difficult to see how that happens. Don't trust anyone says this is a repeat of yesterday's broadcast. If you mean like as in it could all be called off, then maybe, but if you're talking about the stream, then definitely not. I can assure you, this is live. The weather stopped the medical helicopter flying, so they can't meet the basic safety requirement. That's another good point, Max. If the helicopter can't take off, then they can't race. So that's an interesting one. Dell says 50 minutes ago, supposedly, and they haven't showed a single driver anywhere near a car. Yeah. They can get in quite quickly, can't they, Dell? To be fair, they get out quite quickly. So I wouldn't be surprised some sort of a delay, but we'll find out in a few minutes. I'm sure they'll tell. I've got Twitter refreshing, don't worry, or twitter.com refreshing. I'm sure they'll tell us, but I'd like to think they can at least. I think the right thing to do, I think they need to start quali soon. Even if they do, I'm thinking back to, I think it was a practice session where they started practice but left the pit lane closed because it was too wet. You can't really do that in quali, can you? Because you're just ticking the clock down in Q1, so maybe that's not an option. But I just think maybe we just need to either do it or don't. The good thing about today is we do have a proper cut-off time, because they're going to have to, if the race is due to start at 12:30 local time, they need 2.5, 3 hours before that. So they're going to have to cut off at some point. So they can't just sit and wait around. So that's one good thing. But they don't seem to want to show any track footage on Sky for some reason. Maybe there's a reason behind that, I don't know, but it's a little bit odd. But I'm just going to keep an eye on the old social media and see what happens. Dark says Spa 2.0. I hope not, Dark. I was talking to Stuart briefly last night when I was laid in bed waiting to fall asleep, and he was saying that we hope that, as a lot of us love Interlagos. It's a great track for racing. It's a proper old school track. It's fun to watch cars around. We're really hoping that we can get some action, but I think the big question mark is actually more over the start of the race, or it has been all morning, all over the start of the race, rather than the actual qualifying session. So I think we should be okay. But again, I can't really comment on that. They're just showing footage from earlier in the weekend and last year, rather than what's happening now. So it'd be nice if we could, find out what's going on. C64 says if the race is cancelled, the championship is game over. Absolutely agree. It's a big ask then, isn't it? 4 races. What did we work out yesterday? 4 races, 100 points. Another 4 for fastest lap, 104, and then another 8 for the sprint. So it'd be tough. It'd be tough for him to come back from that one. Sorry, out of the loop. How come the race start time is pulled forward when they had to squeeze a quali in this morning? So their concern, the primary concern from F1 and the FIA was they wanted to make sure they gave themselves the best chance to get racing action or cars on track today. So by bringing the session forward, it gives them a bit more wiggle room in, when the sun sets and things like that. So it gives them an extra couple of hours, I think it works out, or an hour and a half. So if they need to delay, they're not risking running out of daylight. Obviously, if they keep delaying, they will, but it just gives them a little bit more wiggle room to give everyone the chance of some actual action. So I've got to say, we're very critical of the FIA. We all are, as fans. And in a lot of ways, absolutely justified in some of the way things are handled. It's just laughable. The fact for example, we don't have a procedure for if we don't get qualifying, what happens, and it's supposed to be the pinnacle of motorsport. We don't even have that, so that absolutely deserve the criticism they get sometimes. However, I will actually give them a lot of credit for being proactive on this rather than their usual. I mean, one of the things, going back a long way now, 2014, one of the big criticisms of Japan that year, so many criticisms of Japan that year, if you remember, for obvious tragic reasons. But one of the big things that people wanted was, drivers, teams, people saying, look, bring the race forward. We know this typhoon is coming. We know it's going to be tough to race in this. Bring it forward. And they wouldn't budget or couldn't budget. And so we all know what happened there. And there were other races as well where they were asking the same and it never happened and we couldn't move the races. And to actually see them move the time of a race is a big deal in sort of modern day F1. So I will give them credit for that. It's absolutely the right thing to do. But I understand it. I saw a few people sort of saying yesterday that it's frustrating because what if we miss the race? Well, they've given you notice. If you can't watch it for work, then that's a shame. But if you miss it because you didn't know the time had changed, then I'm not going to put that on the FIA. Check the timings. They're there for everybody. So. Vsor says, I think the quali is going to happen. Everyone is in the car. It looks good. It looks like it's going to happen. So we will go to the watch on screen in a few minutes. I'm just waiting to see what happens. So should they be rewarded for making a common sense decision, says Jordan. Positive reinforcement. Yeah, give them a treat. Yeah, I don't know. I think they deserve a bit of credit for that because it's not easy to just move things around on a race weekend, as mad as it sounds. So Helmut Marko told Sky Germany that according to their information, if qualifying the race can't happen today, it's cancelled completely and no postponement for Monday. Again, I don't think that's possible. I think we had this with Spa. This was a big debate at the time, which again was 3 years ago. So you'd think there'd be some sort of procedure in place, but apparently not. They changed the point system, didn't they, for red flagged and delayed sessions and that. So that's something, I suppose. But if the race doesn't go ahead, will Max still take a penalty in Vegas? Asked Lee. I would assume so, Lee, but the official document with his penalty on just says 5-second time penalty be served at the race or in the race. Usually, with these documents, it'll say at the next event or at the next race that they compete. So a little bit surprised. So I'm sure that'll get tweaked if they need to, but I would assume definitely. Is the quali actually on Sky? I can't find it. It's on now, Lewis. It's on. If you've got Skybox, it's 4:06. I'm sure you know where the channel is, but it's definitely started because it's on in the background now. I'm keeping an eye on it. So unless that's a rerun of yesterday, I don't know. That must be live. That is live. It says live on the TV. So yeah, it definitely is, Lewis. I don't know if there's an issue with Sky Go or anything with those F1 TV issues yesterday. So there we go. Stroll in the car, says Nick. So I think we are going to go. Just bear in mind they can just do Q1 if they need to and set the grid from that. So if the rain comes, they can just do that. So we could end up with a very short qualifying session. But do you know what? A short qualifying session is better than no qualifying whatsoever. That's my take on that one. So. I don't know about the app then. Sorry, Lewis. I don't know about the app, mate. Only the TV. So just imagine if they just decide to do reverse grid to decide the starting grid. Go for it, Kiefer. I'm putting Kiefer in charge of the FIA today. Let's just reverse the championship order. Bottas on pole. Let's go for it. Why not? We'll head over to the watch on screen in a minute then. Please do drop a like. 30 likes, 473 of you here. Thank you for joining me this morning, afternoon, evening. That's the next one, isn't it? Wherever you are in the world. And don't forget to subscribe as well if you are new. We are live, whatever happens, shortly after the race, whenever that may be. To quote Stewart, the race reaction is something o'clock. So we will be live shortly after the race to talk about everything that's happened this weekend and, of course, the Grand Prix. Hoping we get one. Thank you to Ella Wilson, to Smarty Shop, to G Squiddy, to Arnoldo, Bernardo, and is it Ale? Thank you very much for your Litvineng. Yeah, thank you very much for your subs. Really appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe and drop a like as well. It looks like Sky getting ready to go to the broadcast, the live feed, the F1 TV feed, so whatever it's called, world feed, that's the word I was after. So I'm just going to double check. Looking like quali will get underway on time with rain lighter for the first 10 minutes and potentially increasing a little. That's the latest forecast. The music started, so I think they're going for it, which is bold, so I better start getting things set up, hadn't I? I didn't have to do this yesterday, so I didn't have to multitask. So if you knew, this is where Sean tries to talk, keep you lot entertained, and run multi-viewer, which has decided to install an update. That's my fault for not doing it sooner, I suppose. Should have opened it earlier, but there you go. We're good, we're ready to go. So yes, let's go and find qualifying. We want live timing, we want the track map, I'm sure, so we can keep an eye on the cars going around there. Obviously no track footage for, baffles me, I need to explain it, but no track footage for obvious copyright reasons. I can't just go showing track footage for the lols. It's not the way copyright works, I'm afraid. Lots of people will try it, but yeah, not for me, not worth the risk. Apparently live timing is not available, so hopefully that'll kick in shortly. If not, we may have a problem and we'll just have to cope between us, but these things happen, nothing to do about it. Just trying to I also want to make an announcement today as well, by the way. It's a proper announcement. I don't like Windows 11. I'm sure it's very intuitive, and you're all going to tell me it's way better than Windows 10, but I'm an old man stuck in my ways, and it's not the same as it used to be. So I don't like it. I keep falling out with it. It's not good enough. Anyway, let's... I'm going to wait a minute before we head over to the watch on screen. Just make sure everything's working, but also... because I don't totally trust F1 and their decisions. Let's just wait and see what happens. I'm going to try the live timing again. It doesn't seem to want to load, so it might be offline. That could be why. If not, we'll have to just see how we go. Yes, I think we're working okay. I'm going to look at chat in a minute. They're going to tell me off about Windows 11 being the greatest thing that's ever existed or something. But I spent the other day making it look like Windows 10. It's not the same. It's not the same. Vesk, I'm not having it. Yeah, loads. That's it. Everything takes an extra click, or it feels like it. That's exactly it. Exactly it, Winter. It's that's the problem. Once upon a time, it was nice and easy. Just click it and it's done. Now you have to click an extra thing for some reason. So anyway, let's not get into that. That track map is horrifically bad. So I don't get the points this time for a great attempt at getting that right, but there we go. That is the track map. It is on. Live timing and everything when it pops up is provided by multi-viewer for F1. If you don't have multi-viewer for F1, highly recommend picking that up. It is a free app, but obviously you need an F1 TV subscription of some sort. F1 TV access in the UK, for example, is £2.29 a month, I think it is. So well worth the money. Not sponsored, but I want to give them a shout out because they're letting me use the footage, of course. So, all the timing, I really appreciate that. So, it looks like it's working on the stream, which is good, but it's not working for me on my second monitor. So, apologies if I can't give you all the information we need, but we'll see how we go. We'll get there between us. It's fine. I'll reposition in a minute, but yeah. Fodge is only switching for Force. I was Force. I was on Windows 10, and then I got my new PC delivered and it had Windows 11 installed, and I'm disgusted. I'm not really. It's not that bad. Lifetime is working. There we go. It's not that bad. It's just me being a grumpy old man. That's all. So stuck in my ways. I don't like change. Proper F1 fan. Can't stand it. Yes, it looks like the track is wet. Cars are queued at the end of the pit lane. I'm just going to reposition this. If I bang the mic or anything, I do apologise. Just because I'll do it as steadily as I can. I'll be nice. But we look like we are going to be going on time, which is fantastic news. Cars on track is going to be a thing. Yeah. We do like cars on track. That's why we're here. Why else would we be here? Listening to this nonsense. There we go. I think we're about to go green. Again, apologies for the noise as I reposition. Hopefully, as Ted is chatting, Franco Colapinto, a lot of attention on Colapinto this weekend, understandably, for a lot. We discussed it yesterday, so potentially a lot of good news to come for Colapinto in the coming weeks. So keep an eye on all of that for sure. They're all going out on wet tyres. So if you saw mediums and softs on there, that was wrong. They are not taking to the track on medium tyres. Do not worry about that. And I'm hoping that this is all synced up to the TV nicely so I can give you timing and commentary on the run, or updates, not commentary. I refuse to call it commentary. This is not commentary. This is nonsense. We're green. We have qualifying, people. We have qualifying. They'll all be in 5 minutes for Inters. But yeah, the track is very, very wet. But it's very wet, but not as bad as yesterday. Bearing in mind as well, these guys haven't been out since the sprint. Which is interesting. So that's another point to it, but it does look quite wet. We've now cut to the fans rather than, watching the cars on track, because we had plenty of fan footage yesterday. Let's watch the cars, please, Mr. F1 TV director. We saw plenty of the fans yesterday, bless them. But yeah, very wet. Lots of rooster tails. That was a big puddle there coming out of 5. Hopefully these guys can keep it on track. We'll soon find out. Watching the rear view camera of George Russell's car, looking at Lewis Hamilton, following him. All good. It's just nice to see cars on track, frankly. It will come as no surprise for me to let you know that DRS has been disabled. They're not going to use DRS in these conditions, although, the lols. Visibility looks pretty poor, but again, better than yesterday, so that's something. But I don't know how much yesterday was just the weather and the fact we're getting later in the afternoon, maybe. In the end, made it look a lot worse, but I say look a lot worse. That's very wet, isn't it? If you're watching on TV or wherever you're watching, you'll see very, very wet. A little bit misty as well, but I don't know if that's just the water falling back down again that's been chucked up in the air. But this is going to be fascinating. This is a leveler as well. We saw in qualifying, the sprint qualifying, didn't we? McLaren, Lando Norris with a stunning lap, absolutely. Oscar Piastri with a stunning lap, and Lando Norris not far behind, absolutely dominating that session pretty much, it felt. This levels things a bit. We could still end up with the McLaren 1-2, but this levels things a bit. So we've got a yellow in Sector 3. It looks like Liam Lawson. Oh, Liam, don't spin, mate. Double yellows. Is that going to be... Can we see what's happened? Is he moving again? He's not moving on the track map. So Liam Lawson has had a moment... he's not moving. I mean, he could have not beached him. He could be stuck in water. We might end up with a red flag here if Liam doesn't get going. I think he's crawling. He is moving. He's moving on the track map, I think. Is he? He's just... I'm watching a track map rather than, showing us what's happening on TV. We're watching on a track map. I don't know if he's moving or not. Yeah. We're guessing. I'm looking at a track map here, trying to work out. So I think he is moving. There we go. He's on the move. Yellow flag has disappeared. Good lad, Liam. We'll see a replay of that, I'm sure. Blankets are banned, but could you use hair dryers or boiling water? Hot water bottle, Del. Could use that. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Why not? Yeah, good point actually. There's 2 sets of wet tyres. I don't know if they probably not make a third set available. I suppose they haven't got them with them, have they? But yeah, don't expect too many tyre changes unless we do go to Inters. But looking at that, as Norris starts to blast down the, it's not really a straight, but you know what I mean, the long run to the start-finish line, that doesn't look anywhere near Inters. In fact, that visibility, I don't know. I don't know how much. I'm not convinced that we're going to get very far in this session. Here's Liam Lawson, and let's see what he does. So he comes into, I'm going to try Jumshao, and he just goes very wide, lock up, and then I see what's happened there. And then obviously he's got a barrier in front of him, stuck in the escape road, had to reverse out of there, and it takes a while to select reverse. So just a lock up, always going to happen in these conditions, and it's particularly in corners like that. So we've got another yellow flag. Again, down at the same spot, Liam Lawson was. Is it Joe? Has he been off track? That has cleared pretty quickly, though. So maybe Joe has had a moment there, and that probably affected Charles Leclerc's lap time there. But currently fastest, Esteban Ocon on a 1:30.0. Lando Norris, a 1:31.6. Ocon is currently provisional pole by 1.5 seconds. So Ocon's head straight out there, hasn't he? Right on the pace. Good stuff from him. But yeah, good point, Dan. At least we've got the wets, isn't it? A miracle that they use at all. So that's a very fair point. Good to see the wets on these cars for a change. But Yes, I'm gonna just. I've got a problem with the stream here. It's not doing what I need it to do. Massive delay on chat for some reason. Again, it'll work or it won't. That's it. Ocon beating Norris. Exactly, Kiefer. Yes. He's now only a tenth quicker than Fernando Alonso, who's just gone second fastest. Sainz 1.2 seconds behind. In third, it was Stroll going wide, which was a yellow flag at the same corner where Lawson lost it officially. And I will use corner numbers, turn 12. I will use corner numbers because that's what's on the track map, and it'll just be easier for me to communicate that to you rather than trying to remember what everything's called. Although I'm sure Crofty would be disgusted to hear that. Absolutely disgusted. Not that he's listening. We've got another yellow flag. Looks like Stroll again, possibly. A bit of aquaplaning down to turn 4. Otherwise, not too bad. Just low grip, says Lando Norris on the track. I think Stroll may have been off again at turn 4. I think Tsunoda goes third, Perez fourth, and Verstappen fifth. Is that what Perez has needed all this time? A bit of rain. Very early days in this session. This is going to be a case of fueling the cars up and just sending them round and round and round, because they need to get heat in these tyres if they're going to work properly in these conditions. So Hamilton track lap time was deleted for double yellows at turn 12. That's pretty normal. Colapinto, obviously personal best. He's not. He has set a time, but not a particularly quick one at 33.4. Same with Joe. All those are going to come through now as double waved yellows, getting their lap times deleted. So, yeah, Lawson goes 9th, 32.0. Quite a way off his teammate up there in third place. Maybe not surprising, 1.8 seconds, the gap. Watching Colapinto now come through this middle sector, this tight and twisty part of the track. Where is he actually, specifically? Just going through turn 11 now. Piastri goes 12th. Times are going to pick up, but it's not. These aren't quick times. I'm not surprised. Don't worry. Only 20 seconds off dry times. Exactly, Nick. Not too bad. Is it raining? And if so, is it bad? That's from Casey. I don't know. It doesn't look. It's a bit difficult to tell at the moment because obviously the spray from the cars is getting kicked up and coming back down. I think it is raining, but it's not hammering it down. But visibility on that shot, if you're watching live now, that's pretty appalling. And Bottas, is that Bottas off track? It is indeed. Bottas has been off track at turn 4, 5 as well. So it's very wet out there. But Lando Norris said the track is fine apart from a bit of aquaplaning on the run to turn 4. So if he's saying that's fine and others are reporting it's fine, then it's all about who can keep it on track. And Lance Stroll couldn't. He's gone straight on at turn 4. Ooh, I just clipped the gravel and then rejoined. Bottas did the same down there. I think we've got, what's this? This is a Ferrari and a Mercedes. Very close to contact between Russell and Sainz there. In fact, you don't want to be any closer than that, lads. That was pretty damn close to contact between the two of them down at turn 8, I believe. So if George was on a slow lap and he was on a fast lap, that will be... that'll be a penalty, but I'm not sure who was doing what there. Watching Max Verstappen now, tiptoeing round and on his way down the long blast now to turn to the start-finish straight. Of course, just going through the corner where he almost lost it in 2016. That would have been a big crash, but a great save instead. Over the line, he goes, Perez is purple in the first sector. Verstappen stays 6th. Perez is personal best middle sector, but just up on Ocon. So Perez, all this time, just needed rain. That's all he needed. Look at this. Long way to go. Let's not get too excited for Checo. Lots of lap times being deleted for double yellows and for going off on track limits. Albon is the latest one. He's been off track, or wide at least. George Russell reporting there doesn't seem to be too much standing water. Start thinking about inters. I mean... He knows better than me, but it's the spray's throwing me off. It looks really, really misty and really, really bad. But actually, he's the one in the car, and if he's saying it's all good and they can think about inters, then go for it, George. I mean, Bottas has gone out on inters. This is one of these. It's quite funny, right? It's one of those things where hero or zero, as Martin Brundle would put it. Off track is Colapinto at the moment, turn 3. They've red flagged it. I think that's a crash. Yeah, I was gonna say turn 3 is surely going to be a crash. That is the red flag. So there's no way they just. You don't just. Yeah, it looked bigger because he's got the advertising hoardings all over his car, but he's just lost it. Is that turn 3? Is that the infamous river? Where has he crashed? Or is that exit turn 2? That looks like... Is that exit of turn 2? I mean, the track map says 3, but he doesn't look like he's in a massive runoff area there, if you follow. Not that there are any massive runoff areas here, but you know what I mean. Crofty just making the point there that the rain is coming in. If the track gets wetter, we've lost Russell and Hamilton here from qualifying, as well as Albon, Zhou and Bottas. And Tsunoda's currently fastest. Now, I'm going to say this now. I want to see qualifying, but you see that grid there? I want to see that for the race. So if the rain wants to start hammering down now and they want to do no more qualifying, I'll be gutted because I love seeing cars out on track. But I take Tsunoda on pole with the two... Aston's up in the top 6 and Ocon third and Leclerc second. I'd be very happy with that. That'd be great. So we have got a red flag. Colapinto, let's see what happens. It looked like the exit of turn 2, but track map saying turn 3. So comes through the second part of the center S, drops it. Oh no, he holds it there and then just just the rear. Yeah, I want to see it off board to see where. Karun Chandler just saying in commentary there, you've got the train tracks to follow. He has a moment on the exit there of 2. And then just his rear right just off that sort of drying or drier line. And then straight into the wall. It's exit of 2, entry to 3. That's a shame for Colapinto. But if the rain comes, he is going to be 9th in this session. So the worst he's going to be is 15th, I suppose. But yeah. That's a shame for Franco. Not a big impact. Big enough to take him out of the session, but I don't think there'll be too much damage to repair there for Williams. It's not like he's just gone and absolutely totaled the car. You know, he's not smashed it into pieces. It's a heavy enough hit to end this session, but probably repairable before the race. So no concerns there. But medical car has been deployed. So it was obviously it's triggered the alarm, if you like, for G-forces there or whatever. So they're going to check it. But at the moment, the bottom 5 are Albon, Zhou, Russell, Bottas and Hamilton. If the rain is coming in and it's getting wetter, that could be it for this part of the session. But if you are just tuning in, we have a red flag for Franco Colapinto crashing, let's say entry of turn 3. That's effectively what it is. But yeah, hopefully not too bad for Franco because he's big weekend for him. It is raining. I wouldn't say it's raining hard. I mean, it's raining hard enough. Ted Kravitz saying it's falling at the same rate it has done all session. So, which isn't a good thing or a bad thing. It means it's not getting any worse, but it doesn't mean the track is continuing to get wet. So all that work of going around and clearing water and finding some sort of drying line, they've now got to go do it all again, but they've only got 8 minutes and 50 seconds to do it. So with queuing in the pit lane and messing around, there you go. There's a debate in chat around rookies by the look of it. Casey saying one of the 2 rookies got caught out as a quote. Are you kidding? Colapinto is actually really good. Colapinto is really good, but he is still a rookie, and it happens. But he's been caught out and hit the wall. And Lawson had a spin, but don't forget we've also had others off track as well. So it happens to the experience. It's just those conditions. This is a great leveler. I love it when it's like this. I really, really do. But not to the extent that it was yesterday. I like it. I like wet qualifying. I like wet races. But only if we actually get races. I mean, the best races for me or even qualifying. Q1 will resume in 4 minutes, just to let you know. But my favourite race are the ones that sort of... Zandvoort's a great example the other year where it looks like it's going to be dry. Everyone's on dry tyres. Then the rain comes. Then it starts to dry out as the session goes on. Then it rains again. And I like that argument about doing any wet tyres, inters. Can we move to dries? It's great to watch. But obviously we don't want yesterday where things get postponed and cancelled. But yeah, exactly. You know, it's wet quality is entertaining, but it just sucks that this happens. But it surprises me that George Russell was talking about intermediates. But again, he's far better at Formula One than me. You might have noticed he's in a Formula One car, for God's sake. He can fit in one. I never would. But you look at the conditions and you think, really, George? But we'll see what happens. I'd be surprised because out on Inters at the moment. I mean, wets is surely the way to go. Bottas did try the Inters according to the timing screens, but he's 10.3 seconds off the pace and has currently got the wets on his car ready to go out again. Session restarts in just over 2 minutes, so we are ready to go. This is just surprising that Inters were considered there, but again, if there's not much standing water, which is what the wets are for, the wets are there to clear standing water. The Inters are for wet conditions, but no standing water, obviously. Del says the water is building up some mercury in a tricky spot. Absolutely, Del. Marcus Dudley's smiling, though, the race engineer, senior race engineer for George Russell. So he's probably quite happy. I don't know why. They're 18s, but we'll see. We'll see what happens now. The rain is still coming down. Ted says it's no heavier than it has been for the rest of the session, but that means it's still coming down consistently. The rain is supposed to get heavier this afternoon in time for the race. So, in fact, Lando says, yeah, there's a lot more rain. Heavy rain is expected to the last 2 minutes or more of qualifying reduced back to class 1 or class 2 is what he's been told. I don't know what any of that means, apart from it's going to get heavier. CPB says, morning, Sean. I'm listening to the Watchalong at Costa before my shift at work starts. I tried to finish early to watch it at 5, but of course the FIA changed it. No worries, CPB. Hope you're okay and enjoy your coffee before work and hope work goes okay for you. Will you get to see the race, CPB, or will it be one you're going to have to miss this time and watch later? If so, give me a number and I'll text you spoilers. Do not put your phone number in chat. I know you're not that stupid, but do not. A minute to go until we go for Q1 Part 2. I'll do a quick sip of my what is now Stone Cold tea. I don't know if this will appall British people, but I am one of those people that can drink my tea in any condition. It can be boiling hot or it can be freezing cold and I'll still drink it. You can make me a cup of tea at 9 o'clock in the morning and it can sit there till 1 in the afternoon and I'll still drink it. I'm a weirdo and I can't help it. I'm sorry. Franco in the wall and Yuki on pole. The fight for the RB seat has taken a twist, says Chamber. Hey, Stuart. Hope you're okay. Looking forward to chatting to you after the race if we get one later. Hopefully we will do. We've got a Haas on Inters. That is... Oh, no, we haven't. We had a Haas on Inters. Bearman has just pulled to the side. The team are going to put him back in the garage and I assume put wet tyres on because the rain is coming down again. A bit heavier this time. Lando Norris reporting more rain. So Mercedes are in big trouble here. Big trouble. We are green, though. Let's go for Q1 Part 2 in qualifying Part 2. Thank you, Stuart. Stuart says, can't hang around because you're ahead of me, but sending support for Captain of the Airwaves, Sean. Thank you very much. I was telling Stuart yesterday before, somebody said in the comments, in the chat last... Sunday, I think it was, or comments or something. I have no personality. I was like, that's rude. I've not got a lot. Let me please have some sort of personality, for God's sake. I ain't got the looks. I ain't got the fitness. I ain't got the talent, but please, God, let me have something. No hair either. It's disgusting. Imagine that. Holt says, morning from the US, Sean. They're expecting rain for the race. Morning. Hope you're having a good morning so far. Yeah, they are expecting the rain to get worse for the race. So hopefully, and I think this is why it's been brought forward by an hour and a half. It enables them to keep delaying and they've got a bit more time before, the light fades and they lose the sunlight for the day. So it was a smart call, or not smart, a common sense call from the FIA and F1. So rain is expected. It's going to be wet. It's going to be like this all day, basically. So there you go. Unfortunately. That's a shame. Here we go. Right. So, again, Q1 Part 2 in qualifying, take 2. There you go. I'll always have tyre talk. That's all that matters. Yeah, exactly. George Russell, we're just watching a replay here. He's gone around the outside of a Haas, a Williams, and an... Oh, try around the outside of Yuki Tsunoda on the pit exit as well. Yuki was having absolutely none of that. That was cheeky, but I love it. Cars overtaking on the exit of the pits. Brilliant. But that was, Yuki wasn't having that, George. You are going to have to follow him. Did he stay behind him on track? He did indeed. Yeah, I thought he might. Here we go then. 6.5 minutes to go. Currently in the bottom 5, we have got Alex Albon, Zhou Guanyu, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, and Valtteri Bottas. The rain has got worse. It is wet. Piastri's going to be the first. I mean, there you go. Rain is wet. Congratulations. We're going to get our first read here of whether things have improved. So we're watching Piastri. Ocon's improving. Personal best 22.788 in the first sector. I'll watch Piastri. So 131.999 is the time for Piastri on the board. Ocon a 29.916. So let's see if they improve. So Piastri is 3.5 tenths down on Tsunoda at the moment. So did do a personal best first sector. So the first sector looks like it might be okay. That's 2 drivers have gone through and improved. What is Ocon going to do through the middle sector? We'll find out in about 5 seconds' time, if not less. He has got some traffic, though. Lawson, Perez and Verstappen ahead. So hopefully they don't get in his way. 47.4. So he has improved again in the middle sector. So the track is it's still... You can go quicker. Lawson passes Perez. Charles Leclerc told that the track is still fast. People are matching their lap times. That's what I was just saying on Ocon. He is going to improve here, is Esteban Ocon. Oh, did he? No, he didn't, did he? 29.916. So the final sector maybe did catch that traffic. Piastri personal best in the middle. Well, he will be better read here, I think. Nobody around him. Let's see what he does. 5 minutes to go in the session. Over the line in just a moment. It's just coming through turn 15 now. Oscar Piastri over the line. Does improve to 130.1. That's quite a good improvement as well. Big improvement. So the track is still fast. So Mercedes might be okay here. They might be able to turn this around. We've got a Aston stopped there to let Hamilton through as my TV freezes. There we go. Please don't do that, Sky. I know it's wet, but that's just unacceptable. I won't accept it. Sainz and Leclerc coming through to start their laps now. Hamilton's got to tow off Fernando Alonso down the straight, which will be handy, and only goes 14th, to be fair. 31.83. We know that Mercedes is not in a great place this weekend. They've been pretty clear on that one. But that's a surprise, especially with a little bit of a tow as well. Off Fernando. Not that you want too much of a tow in the wet because you can't see where you're going. But 130.4 for Albon goes 7th. So that's a big improvement there. Lawson and Behrman drop into the drop zone. Oh, I did predict Fernando Alonso for a shock win on Thursday if we got conditions like this. CPB. I did say in the preview, I thought, if we get proper wet conditions, lots of retirements and some chaos, he might win. But George Russell there, right across the chicane, the center S is on the exit, and then rejoined in front of the Williams. So George Russell, a couple of moments like that today, hasn't he, getting in people's way or whatever? So I don't know who was on a hot lap and who wasn't, but see what the stewards say about that. They may look at it. Here goes George for his latest flying lap. Again, very difficult to tell what's going on out there in terms of the weather because all the spray gets thrown up in the air, so it just looks like a constant mist. But I don't think the rain is really any heavier than it has been. It doesn't look like it is from my comfort in Lincoln, where I think it's dry today. I haven't even looked out the window this morning. It could be pissing it down, all I know. I've not got that far yet. I'll look out a window at some point today. This is my window. It's called a TV and it's Formula One. It's all I need. I don't care about what's happening in the real world at the moment. This is all that matters. Here comes George. 1.8 seconds up on a time to get himself through. So that's quicker than Hamilton, who's currently 15th. So 1.8 seconds quicker than his teammate, which is pretty rapid. He's got a bit of traffic here. And we can't... Oh, did he get... No, that's held him up, I think, unless he's gone for the tow. George should still get through. He does in second place, 129.745. Hulkenberg's had a moment at the at turn 12, but he's got going again, so all good. Lawson may have just caught that yellow flag. We'll see. Verstappen not improving. He's currently down in the 11th place. Perez up in 5th. Ocon still 4th. Tsunoda is still fastest by half a second. Verstappen goes 5th on a 130.003. Lawson a 31.7 may have caught that yellow flag. That's Tsunoda still just sat there like, yeah, I'm doing this. This is mine today. No one's having it. So Hamilton drops into the bottom 5. What's Hulkenberg done? I'm guessing straight on or spun. I know, a bold prediction. Coming into Zhongshao. Lock up on the left front, across the grass. Bumpy bump, straight back onto track. All good from there, but yeah, not happy, obviously. So the pressure is on. The pressure is on with a minute and a half to go. Liam Lawson, Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, Ollie Behrman, and Zhou Guanyu. Tough for Behrman, I've got to say. Max's time has been deleted, by the way. He drops to 12th place. That's track limits at turn 12. Behrman lost his. He was at turn 13 for the double yellow. Obviously, double yellows come out, you instantly lose your lap time. So them's the rules, I'm afraid. So he's going to have to recharge on this lap and go again. But again, track should be improving. Perez dropped for Colapinto, Max dropped for Yuki, says Del. And do you know, Del, you and some others in chat, I'd love to put you in charge at Red Bull of the driver situation, because I think there'd be some laughs there and some great content as well. You're welcome, Matthew, by the way. This is my window and it's Formula One. It's all that matters. Hamilton really slippy and slidey through turn 4. That's the technical term. It is chucking it down and it is wet, so not a great surprise. What's he doing here? Where is he? I've lost him on the track. Turn 6 through turn 7 now into the weird turn 8. I say weird. It's just, again, sliding all over the place in that Mercedes. Again, it's tricky out there, but I was surprised, actually, sliding quite as much as he is. Ocon's closed the gap to Tsunoda to 0.382. Oh, big sideways moment there through turn, I always get this mixed up, turn 10, the exit of turn 10. Albon's lap time has been deleted. The checkered flag is out. Lewis Hamilton is under big pressure here, down in 17th place. He's really sliding all over the place here. Even just trying to get the power down on the blast to the start-finish line. I mean, he's not improved in the middle sector. I think I'm not going to say it, because he'll go fastest now if I say anything. He goes 14th. Behrman is the only one improving behind him at the moment, though. Shut the front door. How did I miss that? Lando Norris, P16. This is quite a moment. He needs this. He absolutely needs this. He's got traffic as well. Hamilton says, this damn car, man. It didn't look fun on board, did it? But let's all just... Albon goes fastest on a 29.0, so the time is out there. Norris does improve in the middle sector. Behrman goes 15th. Colapinto drops out in 16th. Russell goes 2nd. Lawson's improving. Verstappen's improving. Norris might sneak through here. What's he going to do? He does go 14th. He sneaks through. And I think he should be okay there. Lawson goes 14th, puts him on the bubble. I don't think anyone's improving. And Lewis Hamilton does drop out. He needs to... I mean, Zhou Guanyu's improving. I would be amazed. And Zhou doesn't go any faster. So 32... And there you go. Verstappen goes fastest, 5 tenths quicker than Albon. So Lando Norris, by the skin of his teeth, gets through into Q2. But Lewis Hamilton is out. That lap, which was awful on board, if you're watching, sliding all over the place, was not good enough to get him through. But Lando Norris, that was squeaky bum time. So we have lost Lewis Hamilton, Ollie Behrman, Franco Colapinto, Nico Hulkenberg, and Zhou Guanyu. Hamilton a surprise, unless you watch the lap on board, then maybe not. But I'd say the Haas drivers down there, particularly Hulkenberg, are a bit of a surprise, actually. That is a shock in some ways. Norris told he's through. I bet he was relieved at that. That was very close. Just wait to check if any more lap times are deleted before we confirm everything there. But yes, Hamilton, Behrman, Colapinto, Hulkenberg and Zhou are out. Hamilton not happy with the car, so it's just his team radio there. Yeah, there you go. Bye, CPB. Have a good day at work, mate. Hope all is good. So I'll just confirm it again. Lando Norris, I didn't even catch it until the last sort of few seconds there, was 16th. He was out, but then just snuck through. Lawson was a surprise there, jumping ahead of Norris. Skin of his teeth, he sneaks through. So Verstappen was fastest in that session on a 1:28.5, half a second quicker than Alex Albon. Russell was third on a 29.1. Ocon 4th. Tsunoda, who was top of that session for a long time, was 5th. Pierre Gasly, 6th place for him. 7th for Leclerc, 8th for Perez, 9th for Piastri, and 10th for Fernando Alonso. Sainz 11th, Stroll 12th, Bottas 13th, Lawson 14th, and Norris, again, I'm going to say the phrase again, by the skin of his teeth, 15th. Lewis Hamilton, though, is out in 16th. Behrman 17th. Tough for Behrman out there this weekend. Everything at short notice for him, really, wasn't it? So he's done a good job there to out-qualify Nico Hulkenberg. Franco Colapinto crashed. He is still P18, though. Hulkenberg 19th and Zhou in 20th. So, yeah, tough for Behrman. All things considered, but he did still out-qualify Nico Hulkenberg, so that's something for him. Pascal's happy because we've got a Sauber into Q2. Is that second week in a row, Pascal, that we've got a Sauber into Q2? Are things turning around? You never know. Title next year, mate. Title next year. Please do drop a like, by the way. Really would appreciate that. Over 1,300 of you here. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. 83 likes. Let's get that well over 100. Thank you so much for your support. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new as well. We are live, whatever happens after the race, whenever that is. This afternoon, I'll be live with Stuart to discuss the weekend as a whole and the Grand Prix. Hopefully, a cracking Grand Prix. I mean, if that grid is anything to go by, it could be. If that is going to be the grid, we'll see what happens. We've got 2 more sessions yet, all being well. So yeah, please do drop a like and please do subscribe. Massively appreciate it. I'll do some shout outs for subs as well in between Q2 and Q3. So if you'd like a shout out and it pops up on Super Chat, Streamlabs, Super Chat, Streamlabs, like Alex, for example. Thank you very much, Alex, for subscribing. Alex Triffin, appreciate that. Then I'll do some shout outs in the next break between sessions for you. So yeah, Sean will be my race watch along with the United game on. I'm not doing a watch along, RC. I'll be doing the reaction. I mean, I could just stay live all day, frankly. It feels like one of those days, but I don't think I don't think I want to put you guys through that. My sanity's bad enough. Yeah, don't forget Verstappen 5-place grid penalty. Crofty just saying in commentary there, just a reminder, he does get a 5-place drop for that engine penalty. So even if he qualifies pole, he'll end up 6th, and so on and so forth. So let's watch some of the replays of Hamilton's on board. He is out. Down at turn 4, turns in, car slides, several bites at the corner. Oh, and he's wide as well. So that's track limits there too. So I mean, he's 16th anyway. Does he care? Yeah, well, yeah, that actually very good point, Red Raven. If, and we don't know, if it does absolutely hammer it down and we can't get the rest of the session in, that would mean Albon starts on pole. Russell P2, where he qualified at Spa in 2021, of course. Just saying. Kevin says, I heard Alpine has been taken over by Brawn next year. Is that true? Or are you trying to get me excited for the prospect of Brawn GP returning? Thank you to the Grunty One for subscribing, and to All Round Edits as well. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. I'll do shout outs in the next part of the next break, not now, because we're getting ready for the next session now. So apparently not. Apparently it was just so they win the title next year. I see. Albon on the radio. I think it's going to rain again. I think was the gist of that. I mean, not a great surprise, is it? We are green for Q2. Here we go. Who are we losing this time? This could be interesting. It looks like it is still raining, but it doesn't look too heavy. Maybe. I mean, you watch. It won't dry out. We'll be on Inters in 5 minutes or something like that. I also, by the way, just for the record, the idea of Braun coming back is kind of cool, but then it ruins the record of 1 season, 1 championship, I suppose. It depends on how you want to define it, because it would be a different team, wouldn't it? So maybe not, but yeah. Right then, so cars on track. Sainz is the first one, followed by Leclerc, Tsunoda, Russell, Lawson, Stroll. There's Bottas in there as well. Alonso and Albon just coming out the pits too. So, yeah, just a reminder, if you're just tuning in, we lost Lewis Hamilton, Ollie Behrman, Franco Colapinto, Nico Hulkenberg, so no German pole today, and Zhou Guanyu in 20th. They went out in Q1. Here we go. I'm ready for. I'm just taking a moment to get ready. I'm going to have a quick swig of my ice cold tea, which I've nearly finished. You'll be very happy to hear. I'll have finished it just in time for my orange juice to warm up. Don't ask. I'm weird with drinks. I can't help it. Randall says, seems a lot of people forgot Brazil 2016. Not here, mate. I put a short out about that this morning on the old tick of the talk. So I haven't forgotten about it. I recorded that on Thursday, preempting rain. Inters for Piastri we're going for here. So this could be one to keep an eye on. Or Sainz twitching through turn 3. Still not convinced Inters are the way to go. But again, the driver, well, from that aerial shot, you know, there is a drier... Not dry, a drier line, so maybe, but there's still, looking at Sainz on these wets, he's twitching all over the place, so, yeah. Nick says, amazing the thin line between Inters and cancelling quali. It is really, isn't it? Fine margins, fine margins. Sainz coming through now, turn 8 and into turn 9. He's going to be first to get lapping, isn't he? He is indeed, yeah. So Leclerc purple, he is about 4/10 quicker than his teammate in the first sector, as things stand at the moment. Albon currently topping the timesheets because he's just going through now. It'll be Albon with the first lap, will it? No, Sainz can get his lap in first, surely, yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to work out who's where. 47.5 in the middle for Carlos Sainz. Leclerc isn't far behind, but we've got Piastri, Verstappen and Gasly ahead. He should avoid the traffic there. Does Verstappen know he's there? That's the big question. Verstappen seems to have stopped on track to let him go. So there we go. All good. He does a 1:29.4 does Sainz. 47.9 in the middle. So actually it's worked out. It's swapped the other way around now for Ferrari. So they are just about matching each other. Let's see what the actual time is when Leclerc goes across the line. Fastest on a 29.332. 700ths quicker than his teammate. So that was close between the two Ferraris. Reyes says, what happened to Behrman? Just not fast enough. I was saying earlier, he got knocked out in Q1, but I was saying earlier, tricky for him this weekend. But he did out-qualify Hulkenberg. So that's no crash or anything. No crash. I do shorts. I should upload them to YouTube, but that one was 1 minute and 3 seconds too long. And apparently, even though you can have 3-minute shorts now, they don't upload as short. So I had to abandon that idea. Otherwise, it was going to go out. So apologies there. Bottas has gone fastest. Pascal's just passed out. 1:29.0. Immediately trumped by Alonso, who goes 3.5 quicker on a 1:28.707. So I'm watching Piastri here. He's not too far off the fastest time in the first sector. So Inters are working okay as they warm up as Perez goes faster. 28.158. Who else is out there going quicker? Albon's still a purple final sector, but only does a 29.9 overall. Piastri's the one to watch. 47.1. So yeah, middle sector seems, unless I'm reading that wrong, a bit too wet for Inters. First sector looked okay for Inters. Although, well, no, he's 5/10 down now on Perez, isn't he? So maybe not. Over the line goes Piastri. Third fastest at 28.9. If he keeps pumping around on those, gets the heat into the track, keeps drying, he might be in a good spot here, Oscar Piastri. So not a bad call, but not... Well, Norris has been told to box for Inters, as Verstappen does a 27.7, 1.1 seconds quicker than Piastri on those intermediate tyres. So that's an interesting one. Norris has been calling for Inters. I didn't think we'd get onto Inters this early. I suspect we might for Q3, but obviously we're going to get on them now. Norris is not improving on his current lap, so that's why they're going to pull him in for Inters. Piastri still going round. Got to stay out there, haven't you? Get the temperature in the tyres, keep going. So Verstappen and Perez currently 1 and 2. What Verstappen would give for that to be the grid for the race tomorrow. 5-plate grid drop, teammate on pole. That'd be perfect for him, wouldn't it? Given the circumstances. Piastri purple in the first sector. Here we go. 22 flat. That will mean we're about, I think we'll see now a flurry of cars into the pits for Inters. As soon as you see a purple sector on intermediate tyres, that's it, isn't it, really? Unless, of course, he now goes and sticks it in the wall in the middle sector or the final sector, and then that all changes, doesn't it? Piastri, 4/10 up on Verstappen in the middle sector, but not purple, interestingly enough. So, just under 9 minutes to go. Just going to watch Piastri to the line here. I think we are Inters. Definitely Inters now. Over the line he goes. Yeah. Intermediates 27-1. Here we go then. Will we be on dries? I'd be absolutely stunned if we end up on dry tyres at any point today. If the forecast is to be believed. Sorry, I was reaching for my phone there to check Twitter. See if I've missed anything. They'll all be commentating on that anyway, so it's pointless. The weather as well is going to be so interesting this afternoon. It really is. What is it saying at the moment, the forecast for the afternoon? 12:30 local time, 90% chance of rain, and it's heavier rain than this, so that's going to be fun. Russell's just had a moment here at turn 10. He's kept going though, so he's been off track, but that's frustrating for Russell on the Inters there. So everyone now headed to Inters, everybody. Leclerc, the only one who hasn't registered as Inters yet, but he's on his way out the pits now, so he's gone into turn 10. Throttle down, spins it on the wet stuff on intermediate tyres, and that's the end of that for Russell. He'll get another shot, of course. Plenty of time in this session. It's what I love about these wet sessions. They seem to be quite long. They feel longer because the cars are just constantly on track. We've still got Q3 to go through yet, and then still 7.5 minutes of this one. So this is great stuff. I like just the challenge. It's great stuff. It was a shame they could get out yesterday, but this is still good stuff. Piastri improves again, 2.5 seconds quicker than Verstappen. That is why you go early to Inters, get the temperature in them, get a feel for the track, pump in the laps, 25-1, 2.5 seconds quicker than Verstappen. Piastri, game on. What can everybody else do? Stroll purple in the first sector. Pick yourself up off the floor. 21.771. Actually, about a tenth quicker, actually, than Piastri. Where is Lance Stroll? What's he doing as he comes through turn 7? Russell is ahead of him, but should hop out of the way. Not the easiest place to get out of the way here. Tsunoda quite slow through there. I'm watching Stroll. What can he do through this middle sector? I'm fascinated by this. Just imagine the scenes. Perez 21.8 in the first sector. Tsunoda only 14th. He was creeping around his last couple of corners. Wasn't sure what was going on there. 46.5 in the middle sector, so well down. And Sainz has spun it or crashed. That's a crash from Sainz, surely. Turn 3. Is it? Are they going to let the laps in first? Russell goes second. Is that a crash from Sainz for a spin? He's crashed it. And why haven't we got a red flag? I don't understand the FIA and red flags and safety cars. I don't understand it. That's a red flag all day long. That's bigger than Colapinto's crash. Why are we waiting? I know that maybe get some laps in, but why are we waiting that long? I just don't get it. And it's a heavy crash, and that's a lot of work. And the team looking a bit frustrated here. It's a red flag. And a lot of damage on that car. We'll have another look in a minute, but that I just don't get what the delay was for. As soon as you get the red flag out, get it out, and then we've got more time when the session restarts. Anyway, let's not moan about that at the minute. Let's watch Carlos Sainz into the center S into turn 1. Watching his steering wheel. All right through there. Oh, just loses it on exit of turn 1. Just goes to put the power down the exit of turn 1 and just loses it. Interesting. He's not done anything, like Karun Chandler just said, there was hardly any throttle in that at all. He's not done anything wrong there. He's just gone to put the power down. Car's spun round and he slammed into the wall. It's a heavy enough impact to rip off the rear wing, the right rear, and make a right mess of that car, but it wasn't a huge impact if you follow. I'm sure you know what I mean. So, but you know, that could be gearbox, it could be engine, and we're only 4 hours and 15 minutes away from the start of the race. Because it's Sunday. I keep having to remind myself it's Sunday. So yeah, Carlos Sainz has crashed just before where Colapinto went earlier. Interesting. So he's lost it. Carlos has sort of come through turn 1. Everything was fine. Goes to put the power on. Not an awful lot of throttle. Car steps out, spins round, and he just goes straight into the wall at turn 2. That could be gearbox. The Hatbrush saying there, question mark. Could be gearbox. Could be engine. Could be neither. We saw some. Who was it that crashed heavily the other week? Had quite a big crash, and we were all talking about, was it Russell? We were all talking about gearbox and engine, and I don't know if they did. I don't think it was that bad. But what we're watching here, Lando Norris into turn 1. He's 11th at the moment, is Lando. Only just snuck through Q1 by the, I'm going to say again, oh, he nearly lost it. Same way Carlos Sainz did. Ooh, wow. The fine margins in F1. Turn 2 oversteer, 1.2 seconds lost, according to the Powered by AWS graphic. I don't pay much attention to them. Let me know in chat. Let me know in chat. Are they more reliable these days than they used to be? Because I'm sort of looking at that and like, whatever. Yeah, they took too long to throw the red flags, I think, Stuart. I really, really do. That, the red flag seemed to go out quite quickly for Colapinto, which was less of an incident than that. And they just left the... Weird. I'm listening to trying to listen to Bernie Collins there on the radar. Looking at the weather as well, it is rolling in again. It looks to be clearing, but then there's this huge band of wet weather behind it, which I think is gonna hit at some point, and I think it's gonna get quite wet. But that was a moment there for Carlos Sainz. Frustrating. He's 10th, so he's gonna get knocked out, isn't he? Norris, Gasly, Albon, Tsunoda and Ocon in the drop zone at the moment. Tsunoda needs to bounce back from all that time in P1, in Q1. Interesting. I'm just watching them pull this. I'm trying to watch them pull the car away. Sorry if I go quiet. I know it's not great for a live stream going quiet. I need to keep talking, but I'm just trying to watch as they take the car away. Trying to get an idea of the damage. I mean, I'll keep an eye on social, see if they say anything, but that's still, whichever way you look at it, engine, gearbox or not, that's still a heck of a repair job, isn't it? To be done, although we've seen cars, quite a bit of damage to the bodywork on a side pod there as well. It looks like a heftier whack than I thought it was, actually, to be fair, looking at that damage. What do we reckon, chat? Predictions on that one? Are we thinking gearbox or engine, or do we... It's tough to tell, isn't it? We just don't know. We just don't know. Come on, guys, get under the car and take pics. Yeah, Kevin's spoken. Come on, under the car, take some photos. Let us know. Tell us what the engine looks like. Ferrari praying the circuit staff get their car back to them quickly. I hope every aren't in charge. Oh, don't. Oh, dear. Yeah, watching Albon now. They're all going out, or getting to the end of the pit lane, so we are ready to go. It is raining again. I'm just looking back from Albon there. It's raining, unless that's coming off his tyres. It's so hard to tell. That looks like rain to me. I mean, it's water, so, Yeah, it is raining. It is raining. Not as heavily as I thought it was. Some of that was tyres. Are we going straight to Inters, do we think? I didn't see what was on Albon's car there. I'm hoping we're going to find out here from Charles Leclerc. But, just to recap what has happened so far in this session with 2 minutes to go until Q2 Part 2 in Take 2 of Quali. We lost Lewis Hamilton, Ollie Behrman, Franco Colapinto, Nico Hulkenberg and Zhou Guanyu in Q1. Colapinto crashed on the entry, we're saying, to turn 3. Not a huge accident. There is damage, obviously, which was enough to end this session, but looks like he'll be fine for the race to get going. Perez says we should have stayed in the garage and more or less the last car, so not sure that's on what he's on about there. I think assuming about timings and whatnot for the rain. But anyway, Colapinto should be good for the race. All okay there, but he was out. Behrman, I think tough on him this weekend, but I think 17th and out qualifying teammate is fine. And Lewis Hamilton was knocked out. Really not a nice lap on board, so he was 16th. So far in this session, Carlos Sainz has binned it at turn 2, lost it on the exit of turn 1, or trying to put the throttle down really on the exit of turn 1. Nothing he did wrong there, just trying to drive his car and it just got away from him and straight into the wall. We'll see what happens there in terms of damage and repairs. Piastri was first to move to Inters and put in a lap time that was pretty quick, 1:25.179. He just kept improving and improving. Russell second, Lance Stroll third, Max Verstappen fourth, Liam Lawson fifth, Perez sixth, Bottas seventh, Alonso eighth, Leclerc ninth and Sainz in 10th. So unless it hammers it down now, Sainz will get knocked out in this session. Currently in the drop zone, Lando Norris, who just scraped through out of Q1. Gasly 12th, Albon 13th, Tsunoda 14th, and Ocon in 15th. 45 seconds to go until the restart of qualifying 2. I'm ready. Are you ready? No? Okay. Yes, the start time has changed for the race. Sorry. It was a 5 p.m. start, John. It's now 3:30 p.m. UK time, 12:30 local, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, because I think your clocks went back last night, didn't they, or this morning? So 10:30 a.m. over there. So it's it's been moved forward, essentially just to give the FIA and F1 enough time, a bit more wiggle room to try and get the race in today. If they kept it the normal time, light fading, the weather rolling in, it's supposed to rain all day, so they had to try something, and I will give them some credit for using that common sense there. But we are green for Q2 take 2 in qualifying take 2. Let's stay in, guys. I want to miss getting a hot lap, guys, says Kevin. Mocking Checo there. Disgraceful. Not having it. Yes, Sainz crashed, so we are ready to go. Norris is first out. It is Inters for Norris, so the rain obviously wasn't coming down too hard there. 5.5 minutes left in the session now as he comes into turn 4. He needs a lap, but this is going to be intermediates. Rain isn't falling too hard. Track is continually drying. These times, in theory, should just keep getting quicker, so last across the line could be in a great position here, but at the same time, you don't want to leave it too long, because as I said earlier, you need to get your heat in your intermediates, don't you? So this could be quite a hectic last 5 minutes, hopefully. Yeah. Is RC still here, by the way, in chat? I've got a question for him. That nobody else will care about, probably. If he is, let me know, RC. But yes, I'm ready for this. Inters have a warm-up time. They do indeed, Max. That's the thing, is you get your laps in, keep going round and round, and we'll see how we go. Here we go. Lando Norris, first to go for his lap over the line to start now. 25.1 is the time to beat. 26.3 for Russell in second, and 26.9 for Lance Stroll in third place. Lance Stroll does enjoy cooler conditions. That's the argument we keep making, and then he always makes a mistake. So this is going to go wrong. Geopolitics says that Liam has to be worried about following Yuki again. Lawson 5th and Yuki Tsunoda 14th. Lawson just behind Albon actually on track at the moment, interestingly. Piastri, I say interesting, it's not really interesting, was it at all? Crofty just crushed Checo, saying he's never missed Q3 here. So Checo knockout confirmed. Although stats aren't working this weekend, are they? Because it should be a Hulkenberg pole based on every other race qualifying held on a Sunday going to a German driver. So yeah, that's a shame. So everyone will improve now. Not a great surprise. I'm trying to work out who's where now. So it was who was Norris first across the line, was it? So we're watching him now. He's just coming through turn 11 into turn 12, and it'll be foot to the floor. Not immediately. Needs to do that carefully. We saw what happened with a lot of water, you know. But that's downhill though. It's trickling down there, isn't it, from turn 14? And quite a lot of water down there. Water. No tea, just water. Over the line goes Norris, surely an improvement. Does indeed. Goes third fastest, 1:26.406. Still a way off his teammate though, 1.1 seconds, 1.2 seconds, although Piastri had done several laps. His tyres might have been a better window. 26.4 for Tsunoda, who we're all backing for pole today, we think. I don't know why. Why not? Leclerc isn't improving. Here goes Albon on a 1:26.8. He goes 5th place. Leclerc, 22.3 in the first sector. 0.3 quicker than Piastri, but not his quickest first sector. His quickest first sector is a 22.2. It's question marks all over the tyres at the moment on the timing screen. Apologies for that, but I can tell you everybody is on intermediate tyres. 25.0 for Alonso. Goes fastest straight out of the pits. And on the pace there, Bottas 6th on a 26.4. Wow. Piastri did that time just towards the end of the first part of Q2, didn't he? Before the red flag. Stroll goes fourth on a 26.3, Ocon a 26.2, up into third place. This is going to get chaotic. We've got 1 minute and 45 seconds to go. There are people that need laps. Albon's gone purple in the first sector. This is a last across the line day, and these are the best qualifying days, last across the line. Yellow flag is sector it looks like Stroll's binned it, so we might get another red flag. So people need to get a lap in here, because if that's a red flag, they won't get out again to do another lap. Norris goes fastest on the 24.8. Where are the Red Bulls? They're going to lose the lap anyway. What are race control going to do? Stroll is moving, I think. So these laps are not going to count. So that is it. I think we've lost. I'm just waiting here. These lap times will not count because of the yellow flag. The double, yeah, Stroll is moving. But Verstappen and Perez are going to have to back off on this lap and go again, because they are in big trouble here. Verstappen 12th, Perez 13th, Sainz 14th. We know he's not going to improve. He was in the wall. This is a big moment here. Norris goes fastest 24.8, as we've already said. They've red flagged the session. We've lost Verstappen and Perez. And Verstappen is furious. Stroll's been in the wall there. Wow. The stewards gave it as long as they could, according to Crofty. I'm sorry to do it again. I've given them credit today. The stewards need to wake up, or race control need to wake up. That car has damage to the left rear. It was never going anywhere. That red flag could have been thrown so much sooner. And I mean, look, lots of people are going to love this. It's shafted Red Bull, 12th and 13th. That puts Verstappen 15th on the grid. But before you start gloating, remember that could come for your driver later in this session. That, to me, it's all right giving it every chance, but Stroll goes round, loses it on, I think he touches the curb, front into the wall, rear into the wall. The rear left was not even pointing in the right direction. It was, it won't be resumed. That is the end of the session. Was at an angle, and they've decided to throw the red flag after waiting to see if Stroll can rejoin with one of his wheels hanging off. I mean, come on. I know there's a lot going on, but goodness me. It's the same with the Sainz one. Why did we have to wait all that time? I try to give the FIA credit where I can, and I know it's tough when you've got a lot going on. But look, watching a situation from your CCTV and all the cameras you've got, and looking at Lance Stroll there going, "We'll give him every opportunity," when his left rear is hanging off. I mean, you know he's not going anywhere. Anyway. So we've lost Stroll. So, and again, it's not because Verstappen's been knocked out and complaining. I was complaining when they ignored the red flag for Sainz for so long. It was just very, very weird. Sometimes it's obvious, really, isn't it? I mean, Verstappen and Perez had lost their times anyway, because they went through the double yellow flag zone. So they lost that time anyway. They've got to wait until they would have had to go again, warm up and go again. But that just seems... Everything's been really delayed. The virtual safety car yesterday, for example, why did that take so long to put out? But anyway, what it has done is given us a spicy race for tomorrow already. We've got Hamilton in 16th. Colapinto's quick in that Williams, we know, so he's got to come back through. We know Haas are quick. They've got to come through. We've got two Red Bulls. Well, one Red Bull who might come back through. In 12th place, who will start 15th. You've got Carlos Sainz out of position. We've got a spicy grid tomorrow, whatever happens from here on in. We've got Lawson and Tsunoda in the top 10. We've got Alonso and Lance Stroll, bearing in mind the weekend that Aston Martin have had to this point. They are right in the game now. We've got Ocon in the top 10. Albon's in 5th place. We've got whatever happens. Yes, today. Sorry, not today. It's not tomorrow. It's today. It is Sunday, Sean. We are racing today. Thank you, everybody. Reiterate that point. We are racing today. It's so confusing. I get so lost. It's not even that hard to remember, is it? But so used to saying tomorrow. But we've got a spicy grid today. Whatever happens from here on in. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, Addy boy, you mean later? Yes, I mean later. Apologies, I am very confused. Can McLaren capitalise during the race, or will they whiff it? Says Chamber. I mean, if it's raining, I mean, they don't look as... I mean, Piastri's looked all right in the rain, hasn't he, so far? But Norris was a bit nervy earlier today, so it's what I love about wet weather in Formula 1. It just levels things out so much. But yeah, odd one from the stewards, that I think. Bottas P11, so Pascal's very happy with that one. So that will be where he starts, unless anybody ahead damaged it. No, I don't think anyone's got penalties ahead, so that will be at least 11th. So good stuff there. Very strange. Very, very. I don't understand why the FIA take as long as they do to make some decisions, but the virtual safety car yesterday, the red flag for Sainz, the red flag there. I mean, all were obvious, weren't they? But there you go. This could be the twist that McLaren need. That said, if it hammers it down like it did yesterday, we won't be racing anyway, and it'll be no points for anybody. So, yeah. Will Sainz start the race, or will they be able to fix his car? We don't know at the moment. It looked like the damage was rear wing, rear wheel, so that could, the way it was going to the barrier, it could be, gearbox, engine, but also it didn't look like it's really, really weird because he smashed his car, but it wasn't as heavy a whack as we've seen. We saw cars have bigger accidents last weekend who didn't have to take engine penalties. So I'm not sure. It's all down to how things penetrate the bodywork, I guess, and everything behind that when they go into the wall. But we'll find out pretty quickly. They've not got long. So if you've missed it all, I will just let you know again that the race, and I'm going to keep telling people because I don't want people to miss the race, because I think we're going to get a cracker later today. It is later today. Qualifying will be over in the next few minutes. We've got another 12 minutes to go for Q3 unless we get some more red flags. But the race is scheduled to start at 12:30 p.m. Brazil time. That is 3:30 p.m. in the UK, 4:30 across most of Europe, and obviously 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So we have got a race this afternoon. Whether it starts on time is a different question. We will see in time. The forecast is for rain, and let's have a look at a little bit more rain, in fact, today. So the race, 12:30 local time. The chance of rain has dropped a little bit to around 70% for 12:30 for lights out. So things might be better, but rain in some form is pretty much 70% plus from, well, now really until about 6-7 o'clock tonight Brazil time. So we are going to get rain. It is going to be a wet, dry, wet race. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, so we are earlier. So just to let you know, 5:30 in Greece apparently, 16:30 in Europe. So yes, an earlier race. Don't forget, 15:30 in the UK, 3:30 this afternoon. Enough time for me to go and get something to eat in a shower, and then off we go again, I suppose. Right then, Max Verstappen not happy, Perez not happy. Tricky one that actually for both the drivers, because they will have lost their laps because of the double waved yellow anyway. I'm pretty sure they went through that zone. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I think they went through that zone anyway. So they would have lost that lap time by these new regulations we have. And then they had to back off to get ready for their run. I mean, 23.5 in the first sector for Verstappen was 1.1 seconds quicker than his time. So he wasn't going quicker anyway. Back off, go again the next time, and then the red flag comes out. So, but it came out with no time to get the session started again. So difficult for Red Bull in that situation. They had to back off, had no choice. But Karun Janet just said it in commentary. This is going to be a great race this afternoon. In the next few hours, we know the Haas cars are quick because they are very much head of the midfield. So they've got to come through. Colapinto, we know, is quick and racy. He's got to come through. Hamilton, the car hasn't been great this weekend. We know that, but Russell is up in 8th place, so you would argue he's got to come through. Sainz has got to come through. You've got Perez and Verstappen coming through. Verstappen takes a 5-place grid drop from 12th. That's 15th. He's got to come through the field. Bottas, who knows what's going to happen there. Sainz has got to come through the field. We've got 2 Aston Martins, 2 RBs, and a Williams and an Alpine in the top 10. This could be brilliant. This could be a classic, or it rains and we get no race, or it dries up and it's dull as hell. But I'm optimistic with the rain around that grid. Tune in. this afternoon. This afternoon for the race. Don't wait a couple of hours. So the track is clear. We are just about ready to go. Session has been delayed. Where are we? 11:33. It said track was clear. So 8:37 local time. That is 3 minutes from now. We have Albon and Piastri moving to the end of the pit lane. Is Ocon already there? Norris is there as well. We've got an RB coming in. Ocon was first there. He is first out for Ocon, who's been quick today. A little bit disappointed for Gasly down in 15th place. I assume caught out by the red flag as well, because he was pretty rapid in the early part of this session. Tsunoda was on P1 for a long time. Russell, by the way, before the red flag, did go purple in the first sector on a 21.6. I assume he must have been through there before the yellow flags came out for Stroll. 2 minutes and 10 to go. Let's do some shout outs very, very quickly for the subs. Thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed. Thank you to the Grunty One, to Shuntira, to Dweep, to Andy, to, is it Zinc GD, to Maurizio, to Chantal, and to Amy Winter for subscribing. Thank you so much. Please do drop a like on the video. We've got 1,500 of you here on the stream, 170 likes. Let's get that over 200. We can do that. So please do drop a like and subscribe if you're new. I'll do some shout outs after the session for subs. Please do subscribe. We've got the race reaction. Whatever happens, we will be live after whatever race we get, whenever that is today. I'll be live with Stuart, aka Chamber, who says the rain has just started again, for a race debrief. And if you doubt that, don't forget we did go live after the 2021 Belgian Grand Prix. For what it was worth. So we will definitely be live after the race, whatever happens. Thank you as well to J3 and to Tyrone, who have subscribed. We've got a minute to go from the session, so keep an eye on subs. I might be able to shout a few out now, but we'll do them after the session otherwise. So thank you very much for subscribing. You're really helping the channel at the moment. It's shoots of recovery, I said last week, and they continue to grow. I'm just being very careful not to step on them, and that's the end of that analogy. How many crashes during the race, says Kevin? 800. Chris says 40-second delay for the red. FIA is a flipping joke. I think if it is raining like this, we should just stay out, says Piastri. 40 seconds to go. Here we go. Yes, I'll see you at some point today, Stuart. It will happen, hopefully before midnight. Thank you to Kaluki and to Dexterous, that's what I'm trying to say. Read, Sean. Dexterous, please, thank you very much for subscribing. I can read, I just have my moments. But yeah, we're 15 seconds away. I'm very excited for this now. Who's going to get pole then? Let me know in chat. Is it going to be Norris? I mean, the rain is coming down again, so this could be interesting. We might be switching to wets at some point. It is going to be very much, could be last across the line, or it could be first across the line, depending on how bad the weather is. We are green for Q3. What do we reckon for pole? Could we get a shock here? Could we have an Ocon or an Alonso or a Stroll suddenly turn up and stun us all? Germany 2019, that slippery section, I think Brad's talking to somebody else, but I saw that. That was the one where Mercedes had their daft livery, didn't they, for the weekend? Their fun livery, and it all went horribly wrong for them, and we had Leclerc in the wall at one point. I think Hulkenberg was on for a podium and ended up in the wall. That was a bonkers race, that was, wasn't it? And was that the same one as well where Hamilton had the whole in, out thing that they were doing over the radio? Stay out, in. Apparently Max isn't happy they kept delaying the red flag, Kevin says. I'm not surprised. I feel like Max Verstappen in the FIA, I think we can just assume Max isn't happy with them generally at the moment. Whenever you see Max Verstappen, just assume whatever he's saying in his head, he's like, bloody FIA. Although not bloody, of course, just in case that's classed as a too strong a swear word for the FIA, because, you know, boo-hoo. Anyway, cars are on track. Norris, so Ocon's going to be first to get a lap in here, because he was first at the pit exit, so we'll see what Esteban Ocon can do. An Ocon pole would be fun, wouldn't it? That would be so much fun. Ocon, Albon, Piastri, Norris, Lawson, Alonso, Tsunoda, Leclerc and Russell will be in that order at the moment. Is that all 10? That's 9. Who's not gone out? Stroll's not. Oh, Stroll, Sean, he crashed. Wake up. Yeah, Lance Stroll won't be out because he crashed, didn't he? So it won't be a Stroll pole. I don't know why I said that earlier. Here goes Esteban Ocon then. 22-1 in the first sector. It is purple because he's the first one to do a first sector. So that's not a massive shock at this stage. Albon pole, says Carsten. Let's go. Quite a few of you said Lando. Alonso, Albon. Yeah, I wouldn't mind an Albon pole or an Alonso pole. That'd be great. Stroll can't get pole. Took me ages to get there. But no, he's not out on track because he had his crash, didn't he? So it won't be. His car's probably currently parked behind the barrier at turn 3 alongside Franco Colapinto's car. Now we're hoping that gets back quickly, like Stuart said earlier. Piastri's gone purple. 21-8. 8-7-8. Russell went purple in the middle sector on his outlap, by the way. How interesting. That's about to get beaten, I suspect, by Ocon, who does a 45-2. Piastri currently purple in the first sector. Russell does a purple final sector. What's Ocon going to do? Here comes to the line. Over he goes. 126.267. Were we quicker than that in Q2? I think we were. Here comes Piastri. Not purple in the middle sector, Piastri. Norris is a 45-2, but only 300ths quicker than Esteban Ocon here. And purple in the first sector is Russell on a 121.843, but again, only marginally quicker. So Piastri goes fastest 26.0, Ocon 26.2, 38.3 for Albon. Norris goes fastest on a 25.6. That's a rapid time. That final sector, 18.4. That's a very quick final sector, but yes. Lawson goes 4th, 128.3. Everyone on fresh inters, by the way. So I imagine they'll just keep going round and round and round. Maybe stop late for some warm ones. Maybe. But bearing in mind they need to be careful with what they do use because we've got rain this afternoon. So that could impact the race, which again is this afternoon. Tsunoda 26.0, 4/10 off the fastest time, but goes second. Piastri purple in the first sector. This is going to be like a fruit machine, isn't it? These times are just going to keep tumbling. Purple, green, purple, green. Leclerc goes second. Again, nearly 4/10 off the fastest time, 26.0 for him. Norris has matched Piastri in the first sector. 21.4 for Piastri, 21.4 for Norris. Russell only goes second despite that purple first sector by half a tenth, just over 4,000th over that one. So Ocon 25.0 goes fastest by half a second. Esteban Ocon quick there. 4/10 quicker than Piastri in the middle sector and a tenth quicker than Norris for Esteban Ocon. Piastri goes fastest, 24.686, 4/10 up, and then it's Albon on a 124.657. I bloody love this sport sometimes. 124.158 for Norris now, half a second quicker than Albon. We've got Alonso off. Alonso is off here, double yellows. It's at turn 11. It's a red flag. We're red again. Goodness me. Do you know what this is? We're all getting excited. They're just letting us have a breather. It's in the wall for Aston Martin as well. They've got a lot of work to do between now and the race this afternoon. Alonso in the wall says he's okay. Oh dear. How many red flags have we had? 106? That's what's happening. It's what's happening. We're getting excited and they're letting us just have a breather around halfway through each session. Get a breath back and off we go. So no Alonso pole, no Pete, gutted. But Norris managed to go quicker there, 34.1. If you listen to the conspiracy theorists on Twitter about the FIA's British bias, which last week was Dutch bias and the week before last week was British bias, the week before was Dutch bias. But anyway, the FIA are now going to make it rain really heavily, so Norris definitely gets pole position. I love twitter.com in no way whatsoever. That's quite a hefty whack actually. From the other side, it didn't look too bad for Alonso. The front right is off. Yeah, this could take a little while. Does that barrier need a rejig as well? Marshall's away for the cars to be in. There is a crane there, but I'm not sure it's going to get it. Yeah, Drugovich, cut to Drugovich there. Oh, Alonso's washed. Look, going to go to Drugovich. I don't mean that about Fernando. I'm only joking. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, so we have another red flag. So we had a red flag for Colapinto. We had a red flag for Sainz. We had a red flag for Stroll. And now we've got a red flag. Is that 4? Am I missing anybody? Alonso with a red flag now? So if the rain comes now, the grid is Norris, Albon, Piastri, Ocon. I mean, come on. It is Alfie. I agree. It is down to conditions, but it's really nice seeing a Williams up there. I completely agree. If I tell you what, if we can get in any order, let's go alphabetical to stop any kind of fight here. If we can get like an Albon, Leclerc, Norris top 3, or an Albon, Leclerc, Piastri top 3, Williams, Ferrari, McLaren. Be like the good old days. Yeah, so he's dropped it in on the exit of turn. He's just gone round on the exit of turn 11 and then straight into the wall. Left rear hit first. That was quite hard, actually. He's just, yeah. The car just didn't want to stick to the track. Round he goes. Left rear. Bang. Whoa, it's a hefty impact, actually. That's going to be... Oh, what a shame. What a shame for Aston Martin. They had a shocker yesterday. They've turned up today, 2 cars in the top 10. We're joking partly about a possible Alonso pole. Could he, could the wily old fox pull it out of the bag? And then we've got both cars in the wall during the session. That's a lot of work. Kevin says that's a gearbox. Max says the same as well. Maybe even chassis, says Max. It's the way the right rear goes in, isn't it? It's quite a hefty whack. It's not like we saw with others where they have hit the right rear, but it's not as hard. That was that's quite quick through there, even in the wet. That is quick. So yeah, that's a lot of damage. Right front is off, obviously. That's a shame. What a shame for Aston. What a shame. But that's the 4th red flag. I mean, Stuart says in chat, how many cars will even start this race? And yeah, the track is completely raceable, but it's so easy to make a mistake. I mean, that's Fernando Alonso. He's just come round turn 11 and the car's just gone, nah. I'm going to have a spin straight in the wall. Medical car deployed, by the way. That's not a surprise. That was quite a hefty whack. He's okay, Fernando, by the way. He's out of the car and walking away. Looks a bit annoyed, understandably, but car has been taken away on the JCB now. I should say other brands are available because we all, Max's 5-place penalty could be nullified by people starting in the pit lane. Well, you've got, part joke, I suppose, but Alonso, Stroll, they're going to drop, aren't they? Well, Alonso might drop. Stroll, I think Stroll should be okay. I mean, I'm not an expert on these things. Sainz is behind Verstappen, but if people keep crashing, yeah, that barrier doesn't need repairing. I thought it might. So we might be a little while here. What is more likely? They hate a certain driver so much they're obviously sabotaging him, or literally anything else. Yeah, literally anything else. I don't. The reason you've been here a while, Pete. The reason I always sort of laugh off the FIA bias towards certain drivers is because I remember when it was all McLaren bias. I remember when it was always Ferrari bias. I remember when it was always Red Bull bias and Sebastian Vettel. I remember when the Hamilton bias, and I remember the Verstappen bias again, and now the Norris bias. And it's like, yeah, maybe the FIA are massively biased, or here's a thought: when a driver's doing well and things go their way, people prefer a conspiracy rather than just going, do you know what? Cracking job, mate. I will always say this to people, and maybe I don't know if it's an age thing or whether I don't know. Maybe I'm just not cut out for the internet. I don't know, but I will always say to people, you don't have to like a driver. You can always say good job. It doesn't have to be a conspiracy. Don't get me wrong. There have been some conspiracies in F1. Singapore 2008. Literal race fixing, But yeah, Ferrari International Assistance, exactly. It's all it used to be. I used to get it at school. I used to get it at work. It was always, oh, you're a Ferrari fan, Ferrari International Assistance. Like, oh, yeah, sure. Do I believe there will be bias in the FIA? They're only, Johnny Herbert is the one that keeps cropping up. Maybe, but there are enough people there to balance. It's not one person making the decisions at the FIA. There are lots of people there who will have their favourite drivers or their least favourite drivers. They won't communicate, but it's just somebody does well. Let's throw bias at it rather than just accepting they've done well. So there you go. I mean, maybe some stewards are just less BS than other stewards. Maybe they don't want to give people the benefit of the doubt, and others do. But that's not bias. That's just, yeah. I just don't. I think part of it is I don't buy it, and part of it is I just can't be arsed with it, to be honest. I will admit, I keep saying I would prefer to have a team of stewards that go to every race rather than rotating. And I do think that, and this is one of Jonty's lines, to be fair, I think we do need somebody who's driven these cars in anger more recently than, with all due respect, Johnny Herbert on the stewards panel. We need a Jenson Button, for example. Someone who's been in one of these cars in the turbo hybrid era who understands these things a bit more modern day. Nothing against Herbert, nothing against anybody, Warwick or whatever, but we could just do with some more recent drivers. But then you could argue they might be more, but I don't know. That's just my thing. But we do need consistent stewards. That's my opinion. Jolyon Palmer might be a good shout, actually, Kevin. Just not for street races, of course. Here we go, then. So, state of play. Cars are starting to head out to the end of the pit lane. So, state of play. Session will start very shortly. Lando Norris is currently fastest. Alex Albon's second. There's half a second between them. Piastri not far behind in third. Session will restart in 4 minutes. Ocon is fourth. Russell is fifth. Leclerc is sixth. Seventh is Tsunoda. Lawson is eighth. Alonso ninth, but he is out of the session. He's just crashed to cause that red flag. He's okay, but the car is in a bit of a mess. We'll see what has to say about that. Stroll is 10th. He's also out of the session. He crashed in Q2. Was it Q2? It would have been, yeah. Bottas, a fantastic 11th place. Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez caught out by double yellows and the red flag. They're 12th and 13th. Fernando, don't forget, Verstappen, will drop 5 places. Sainz is 14th. He crashed and caused the red flag as well. He's okay. We'll see what they decide. That might need a gearbox and an engine on, not as hefty a crash as Alonso. Gasly is 15th, which is a shame because he was looking very good at one point. They are all out. Hamilton was knocked out in Q1, 16th. Behrman's 17th. Colapinto crashed. He's okay. Car is a bit damaged, but should be good for the race later today. 18th place for Colapinto, 19th for Hulkenberg, and 20th for Zhou Guanyu. So, yes, this is... yeah. Ayinka says they might be biased, but remember, they are also shit at their job, so it's okay. Fair enough. So we've got let's have a look there. Let's do some shout outs for subs quickly and then we'll move on to, I shouldn't take long actually, we've got 2 more. Thank you to, is it Kaluki at 43, and thank you to Thomas as well. Is it Thomas Kasanas? Thank you, or Katsanas. Thank you very much for subscribing. Please do drop a like. We've just got over 200 likes, 1,600 of you here. A like would be massively appreciated. Really helps the stream in the algorithm. And please do subscribe if you are new. We will be live shortly after the race, whenever it happens, later this afternoon, and whatever happens, to talk about hopefully the race, but if not, the weekend as a whole, and we'll take loads of your questions as well later. So please do sub so you don't miss that this afternoon, and drop a like as well. Massively appreciated as always. Like I say, shoots of recovery on the channel. Will be good to keep those shoots growing, and we'll I'm very much, as crazy as it sounds with 4 races still to go this year, I am very much focusing a lot on next year and what I want to do for content. So it'll be good to see the channel pick up some numbers in the coming days. And I can hear somebody talking. Sorry, I hope that's somebody talking. I've not completely lost my mind. And it's not Crofty in my ear before you say it. Yeah, sure, you got headphones on. Exact wrong spelling, mate. Ecstatic wrong spelling, mate. Check. Says all round edits. Okay. I don't know what's happening there. We are a minute away. I think the shopping's here. That's what it is. I was like, sorry. I can hear voices, and I'm going, I really hope that's somebody in the kitchen downstairs, or I have somebody I know in the kitchen downstairs, or I've completely lost my bloody mind. The shopping's arrived, and it's been dealt with. So sorry, I had to listen there because I was like, somebody's in my bloody house. But it's okay. They're supposed to be here. Sean, I need your advice. Will I need whiskey, rum, coffee, or painkillers for the race later? Yes. Red Raven. Yes to all. You should have known that was going to be the answer. Yes, you will need all of those, Red Raven. Yes, it was Tesco, just to confirm. That's very good, Valentine. I like that. Anushka says Sean is going schizophrenic. Going. Right then, we are go for Q3. Hopefully, we're actually going to get this done now. If you're asking, by the way, for my preferred drink of those, Red Raven, it's whiskey for me. Here we go then. Norris heading out on track. Russell will be first, and it's Norris and Albon. Do you think Alonso is going to start? So asks Ramor. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think they should be able to do engine gearbox change and repairs before the race this afternoon. But it's going to be, they're going to have to be quick about it. So I think he should start, but it may end up being a pit lane start, is what chat was saying earlier as well. So I hope so. I'd like to see all 20 take to the grid, because this could be a lot of fun. And this could be one of those races as well this afternoon. I'm going to keep saying this afternoon to keep reminding myself. Sean turns up for the race reaction tomorrow and nobody's here. But it could be one of those races as well where just getting to the end could be points. So, your Bottas's, for example, your Zhous, get them on the grid. If they can keep it on track, there could be enough chaos to see them get points. So I have to, Joe, because if I don't, I'm going to completely forget. So this afternoon, because I made the mistake earlier and said tomorrow, because I'm so used to it. As a bird flies across the track in front of George Russell there. I'm sure that was very distracting. It looks wetter out there. So the rain has obviously been falling because because it's raining, so the track's got wetter. But no, George Russell is on the inters. They're all on the inters out there, so that's okay. But it just looked a little bit wetter there. But I think that run to turn 1 is quite wet anyway, isn't it? So here we go then. So 24.1 is the time to beat. Half a second between Norris and Albon. Russell is coming down the straight. The fastest first sector is a 21.3. Russell a 21.9. Now he's got to get these tyres in the window. What can Norris do? Ocon, by the way, 3 purple sectors. Ocon, Alonso, and Norris have split all 3 of them. There you go. So 3 different drivers with the purple sector. So there we go. That's the fastest times, by the way. Kevin is expecting a delay for the race. If the rain keeps falling as is forecast, then yeah, we may not get a race. But things look, as Stuart said earlier, they look raceable, but the slightest mistake is being punished. And that is what we want. We can have a race, one mistake, and you're in the wall. Tough. That's my view on that one. Jonathan says, lol, this guy. Yes, quite. And we got a yellow in sector. It's Tsunoda. What's happened to Yuki? Yeah, no points if there's no race, Brad. Yeah. And I will not relax. I refuse to relax. Don't tell me to relax. I won't have it. I refuse to relax when I'm watching something I love and I get excited about it. So, as simple as that. Oh, Leclerc, big moment on board there. Big moment. Sliding. We've got double yellows. I think we've got a car in the wall. I think it's Alex Albon. Have we got Albon in the wall, or is he? No, it's a red flag. No. Oh, Alex Albon may not be starting the race with that crash. That is big. Wow. That's a heck of a crash. Medical car deployed. Both his rear wheels are off. Rear wing, obviously. That's gearbox engine and works. That's a pit lane start, that. I just can't. What the fuck is happening? So it's another red flag. Is that number 5? I think we lost count at about 8 million. It feels like 3.5 minutes ago, so we can still get this session in. Alex Albon will not. Every time since the start of Q3, we've talked about a surprise poll and we've mentioned names. We said Alonso, we said Albon. They're both out. I think it's Ocon next, isn't it? Albon is getting out of the car very gingerly, to be fair. This isn't going to be a pretty one when they show the replay, I don't think. Tsunoda's lap time has been deleted for track limits at turn 4. Albon's okay. Tentative is the word I'm looking for. But he's okay. He's getting in the medical car. So Williams and Aston Martin are going to be flat out from the minute they get those cars. That's surely a pit lane start for Albon. I'm looking at that car. Let's have a look. Here we go. On the run to turn 1. Oh, the car's crabbing. It just sort of crabs to the right and then goes round. Like a rear locking sort of thing. So did the brakes fail is the question. Because the car just seemed... Apparently the brakes failed. Oh, no, brakes... Oh, no, I misread that. Don't take that. The brakes look okay. Does he touch the line, maybe, with the rear of the car? Because that's quite strange, isn't it? He either touches the line and the car goes, or he locks the rears. It's not brake failure, just to confirm. But if that car... So the back sort of crabbed and he's just gone round. That's a huge crash in terms of the damage that needs repairing. Are we thinking pit lane start? Peeps, I was going to say. Why not? Alboff. Very good. Is there a possibility for some drivers not to start the race? I would... Albon possibly, but I still think they can get that repaired, but it might have to be a pit lane start. Alonso possibly. Sainz as well. You could... I think Stroll will be fine. They'll get that repaired in no time. Colapinto as well. I say no time. It'll still take a while. Sainz is a question mark, but I don't think that was enough damage to worry about starting a race. Alonso again was quite a hefty whack. That's going to come down to gearbox and engine. You'd imagine. The problem is you've got 2 crews, but Williams have got 2 cars to repair, and Aston have got 2 cars to repair. Whereas we've seen in the past when a car has a big crash in qualifying and it's just the one car that's had the big crash, sometimes they'll get the 2 crews together to get that repaired. They won't have that option. They're going to have to work on, as George Russell locks up at turn 4 on his run and goes wide. So yeah, they're not going to be able to just like call on the other crew to come and help. They're all going to be busy. So that's the problem there. It's all going to come down to gearbox and engines, but there's always a possibility. Albon probably the one I would say is more likely to miss it. Oscar Piastri did spin turn 2, he did have a spin, but he recovered okay. But yeah, I don't think I'm not saying he will miss a race, but of those that have crashed, he's probably the more likely to. But I think pit lane start, possibly a chassis. And it was Tsunoda off as well, had a spin at turn 4, kept that out of the wall nicely, into the gravel, got going again. It's all kicking off out there. Tsunoda did get going. Just watching this again, he's nowhere near the barrier, actually, to be fair, but it felt like he was going straight into it, but he's into the gravel and got going again. So on that run, you've got Albon crashing, Oscar Piastri spinning, Russell locking up and going wide, and Tsunoda spinning. I mean, it's wet out there. Are we on the line here between Inters and wets, maybe? I have no idea, Stuart, on that one. I had to rely on your quickie video you did. I think it was after Austria a few years ago, for how it all works with penalties at that point. So I don't know what it is now, but I would assume everyone will get pit lane starts and then the penalty will get put in, I would have thought. No, it must be on quali. I don't know. It must be quali results. I'm not going to go through the regs today. We did that yesterday. I don't want to read them again, ever again. Williams look, oh, bless. That poor mechanic there looks like, oh, for God's sake. That's lunch gone. You're not getting any breakfast either, lads. This is going to be horrible. Nick says, love these conditions. No need for budget caps and sliding CFD scales. Rain is all F1 needs. I love Formula 1 when it gets like this. I love Formula 1 anyway, but it's so good. Stuart says, either way, he's probably not starting 17th. No. Strange, isn't it? I don't know which way this is going to go. We could have another red flag yet before the end of this session. This has been bonkers. I knew it was going to overrun. It's 12 o'clock. Session started at 10:30. We're an hour and a half into a 1 hour session. It's, will Alex get Franco's car to C64? Do you know what? It's an interesting question. Had that still been Sargent in that car, maybe. But I actually think that Colapinto could still do some, not literal, but could still do some damage from 18th. Because, Because even if Albon got Colapinto's car, would he start 10th or would he have to be pit lane start? Oh, that's a good point. What did they do? I can't remember the side. He went for the weekend, didn't he? But ahead of the race, I wouldn't have thought so. Yeah. Good question, actually. I wouldn't do that. Colapinto's quick enough, but yeah. Yeah, damage is already done. These marshals out there with their quad mops. I'm going to call it a quad mop. I don't know what that's called. I've gone with a quad mop. There we go. That's what we're calling them. We've got Steve and Pedro with their leaf blowers, and then the marshals on their quad mops. Welcome to the F1 word. Let's do, if we've got any subs that I can shout out very quickly. Thank you to Oliver, to Debbie Andrews, to Ismet, and to Tim. Thank you very much for subscribing. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Lots to come. Ocon is end of the pit lane again. He's first to go out. Session starts in about 4 minutes again. Liam's like, when is it restarting? Sorry, had to put caps. No, it's all right, Liam. Any minute. About 4 minutes, I think it just said on screen. So, 3 minutes. There you go. 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Oh, dearie me. Yeah, please just subscribe and drop a like as well. We've got 1,600 here. Can we get those likes over 300 for the end of the session? 227. Let's do it. We've got 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Let's see if we can get that to over 300 in under 3 minutes. That'd be amazing. Let's go for it. I have faith in you all, you legends. I believe in you. You can do it. You can do it, guys. You can do it. I believe in you. That's inspiration. I'm going to have some more of my orange juice, which, by the way, is so warm now it tastes like cheese. So I might be live, or I might be really ill. We'll see. That could be interesting. Yeah, we've got a red flag at the moment. That's why the time's paused. 2 minutes to go. I'm watching the likes now to see if you can do it. We think there will be some Class 1 rain starting imminently, which will last until the end of the session. Norris has just been told. We just want to get to the end. I don't care. Let's get to the end. Because it's been sat there for ages, Joe. And I forgot about it. 2 minutes, 42 likes needed. We're 2 minutes away from the start of the session. Oh, I'm not sure. Are you guys going to crash it here? Are we going to get a red flag for the likes? Oh, dear. Come on, McLaren 1-2. I wonder if they'll push the race by 30 minutes, says Stuart. Do they dare do that with the weather in the afternoon? I get what you're thinking, but if the weather's supposed to be the way it is this afternoon, or the way they're thinking... yeah, it's a big gamble, isn't it? Because if they push it back half an hour and then it absolutely hammers it down, they can't get it in. They look really stupid, don't they? 29 to go, 1 minute and 15 seconds. I never do this for likes. I always just say, please do leave a like, and then I tend to leave it at that and say it a few times. But I'm pushing this for 300 now. We're 25 away. This is doable with 1 minute to go. You're all going to get it to 299 and then wait, aren't you, until the last second and make me get excited. 50 seconds to go. Thank you very much. I just saw another sub come in, I think. No, it was just Tim. Tim came through again for some reason on my thing. You got 2 shout-outs, Tim. There we go. Why not? Why not? 15 to go. 40 seconds on the clock. I'm just very excited for this one. Brad says helicopter on floats. We're at 299. Yeah, I knew you were going to do this. Thank you. We did it. There you go. 303. Thank you, everybody. Well done. Thank you to Russell there for liking and subbing as well. Appreciate that one. We have got over 300 and we did it with 20 seconds to spare. So thank you very much, everybody, for hitting the like button. Just a bit of fun there. It helps in the algorithm and all of that business, but always nice to just put some pressure on you guys for a change. You keep throwing your questions at me. So it's nice to put some pressure back on you. Here we go. 5 seconds to go and we are green, but the big question is, for how long? There we go. Q3 part whatever this is go. Part 3 4 of Q3 alone. It's been great. This has been a lot of fun. We've got by the time they get round, there's probably 2 laps, do we think? I don't think they've used 7 sets. It's a good question, actually, Nico. Asking if they use 7 sets of tyres. Because none of these are saying used, are they? I'd be surprised if they've used all those sets of tyres. But last week we had an issue with the official F1 timing was putting everyone in used tyres when they weren't and new tyres when they weren't. So it might be that the timing's a bit funky because of the weather over there or wherever they're running it from. I don't know, but I'd be surprised. These might all be new, but I'd be surprised if they got through 7 sets, because I think they only get 3 or 4 for the winter, don't they? For the weekend, they only get 3 sets for the winter. They get 3 or 4 for the weekend. So unless I can't remember which one. I can't remember now. I can't remember off the top of my head. And Tyre Talk's my thing, so this is a disgrace. Whether or not they get an extra set when it's wet. I think they might get an extra set. Somebody will tell me. Apparently F1 app says it's 7 sets, which is... That's bonkers, that is. 5 sets of inters. Thank you, James. I knew it wasn't quite 7, but they might have given an extra set because of the conditions. But then I know it's only 2 sets of the wets, isn't it? So here goes Esteban Ocon. Are we staying on board for this one before he crashes? Because we said he was going to be an outsider for pole. So we said that for Albon. He crashed. We said it for Alonso. He crashed. Coming through turn 2, it's twitchy. It's definitely raceable, you know. We've seen that. He's nice and they never look like they're going to stick. They don't look like they're going to stick in the dry around that corner, but they certainly don't in the wet. Half a second down, 4.5 tenths down. Sorry, on Lando Norris there, Ocon. So he's not going to be getting pole with that. We'll see. Keep improving. Could keep improving. Let's see how we go. Watching the second times, Norris does improve 21.414. Alonso's times are still green on the timing screen, so I keep getting excited that he's gone back out and surprised us. But Piastri's a second down on Norris, you know, in the first sector. So Lando Norris here looking good for pole position as it stands. We've got a minute to go, so just a heads up. If anybody crashes now, that is it for the session. This is it now. This is all we're going to see. I don't really think this could be anticlimactic as I say that, as Ocon does a 44.3 in the middle sector and goes purple. Surely Norris is going to be beating that. He doesn't. It's a 44.5. So middle sector, Ocon is rapid. Over the line he goes. He doesn't improve position, but he was personal best in the final sector and purple in the middle sector. So there is pace out there, but is he going to get to go again here? He should do. Norris is going to go. He does improve on a 124.092. That has put him half a second, over half a second clear of Albon at the moment, who's still second. Here goes Piastri, stays third. Could Alex Albon really end up second in this session? Despite that crashes off goes Piastri at turn 1, but he's okay. He'll rejoin. That might throw the yellow, but he should rejoin okay. Leclerc crosses the line, stays in 6th place on a 26.0. I'm trying to work out what's happened to Piastri. He has got going. He seemed to stop there, but he has got going. I'm not really sure what's happening here. Now, Lawson, 21.7. Lawson's quick here. 21.7, 44.6 is not enough for pole, don't worry, for Liam Lawson. I'm not going to get that excited. But he is rapid here. Personal best and personal best. He's pushing hard. What can Liam Lawson do? It's second for Liam Lawson. He's on the front row on a 124.484. Where is Yuki? What's Yuki going to do? Tsunoda goes on the front row on a 24.1. Wow. Norris is improving. We've got RB second and third. Over the line goes Ocon. He goes third on a 24.4. What is Russell doing? He's improving. Norris is purple. Leclerc is improving. This is all turning on its head. Over there goes Norris on a 23.4. So he improves. He's got pole unless somebody does something pretty rapid here. Russell's pacey. Personal best, personal best. Everybody improving except Piastri at the moment. Russell goes second on a 23.5. What is happening? 23.5 from George Russell. Leclerc only 6th on a 24.525. Albon drops to 7th. Piastri is 8th at the moment. He's not improving. 32.2, 50.5. And as he comes through, eventually, as he pitted, Piastri's abandoned the lap. That is it then. It is pole position for Lando Norris, with George Russell joining him on the front row, followed by Yuki Tsunoda in 3rd, Esteban Ocon 4th, and Liam Lawson in 5th place. That is the checkered flag. It is over. That is one hell of a grid. Wow. Wow. What? Oh, Jesus. I don't know what to say. I mean, look at that grid. Obviously, we've got to consider possible penalties for engines or pit lane starts for car repairs for Albon, Alonso, Sainz, maybe Colapinto as well, for example, Stroll too. But that is one heck of a grid. I'll say it again. Norris on pole, probably not too much of a surprise. Russell second, a bit surprising given where Mercedes have been lately, but a Mercedes in the top two, you'd take that. Tsunoda third. Ocon fourth, Lawson fifth, it's Leclerc in sixth, Albon seventh, Piastri eighth, Alonso ninth, Stroll in 10th. Obviously, Albon, Alonso, Stroll, question marks over repairs and penalties and all of that business. Bottas 11th, Verstappen 12th, but will start as it stands 17th with a 5-place penalty. Again, that could all change. Perez 13th, Sainz 14th, question mark. Gasly 15th, Hamilton 16th, Behrman 17th, Colapinto 18th, again question mark. Hulkenberg 19th, and Zhou in 20th. Wow. I will say as well, Tsunoda 3/10 quicker than Lawson in the end there. But Russell only a 10th and 3/4, let's say. Yeah, something like that. 2/10, let's say, off the pace. What a grid. Roll on later this afternoon when we have a race. Before people disappear, just a reminder, the race is happening today, rain permitting. If it doesn't happen today, it isn't happening at all. That's been pretty much confirmed. But the race is 12:30 p.m. local time. That's Brazil time, obviously. 3:30 this afternoon in the UK, 10:30 a.m. on the Eastern time in the US. So if you're in the US, you can work out where you are, how that works out for you. But that's it. So it is happening today. And I'm going to say, to take the words there from Vesk, it has to happen. With a grid like that, it has to happen. So whatever happens, we're going boats. We'll use boats if we need to. I don't care. That is one heck of a grid. Quick mouthful of my cheesy orange juice, which people are trying. I can't explain it. It's not actually turned to cheese. It just tastes a bit off. It's been sat here getting warm. And to be fair, it's been open for about 4 days. So that's probably why. But anyway, pause for the timestamp. Lando Norris is on pole position for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, which is happening later this afternoon. George Russell will join him on the front row, a 1/10 of a second or 2/10 of a second between them in second place. Yuki Tsunoda is currently third. However, chat, and if you're listening later, he is currently noted for failing to follow the race director's instructions for crossing the line at pit entry. So we'll keep an eye on that. Yuki Tsunoda, if he has crossed the line at pit entry, that will probably be some sort of penalty. We'll see. Esteban Ocon, though, currently 4th place, a second off the pace, but what a lap anyway, and what a session for Ocon as well. Liam Lawson in 5th place. What a lap from him at the end there as well. Was second at one point before it all started going crazy. Fantastic for him. Leclerc in 6th place. Alex Albon in 7th. Alex Albon, though, big crash in turn 1, so he may have to take repairs. Possibly a pit lane start, engine, gearbox, all sorts. If Williams can get that car sorted, we will find out in the coming hours, of course. Hopefully he can get going, though, because that's a great grid start. Oscar Piastri down in 8th place. Pole, of course, for the sprint, so a bit surprised to see him down there, but conditions all over the place today. Lots of red flags, so it happens. Fernando Alonso, big crash as well. He is 9th at the moment. He crashed at turn 11, the exit of turn 11 in the wall. Quite a hefty one there as well, so we'll see what happens with that. Can they get that repaired in time? The problem for Aston is that Lance Stroll also crashed. He was at turn 3 where he crashed. Not as big a damage as Alonso's, but still needs to be repaired, so a lot of work at Aston Martin, but that's how the top 10 stand at the moment. Valtteri Bottas, 11th. What a lap from him, 1:26.472. Maybe it's going to be one of those races later today where just getting to the finish is going to be the key. Could Sauber get their first points, not only in this season, but for the first time in over a year, I believe. Max Verstappen, 12th place, and Perez, 13th. They were caught out by double waved yellows and then a red flag. Verstappen, of course, has that 5-second grid penalty to serve for taking a new internal combustion engine. So at the moment, that will put him 17th. It's all going to depend how that shakes out after penalties and when the FIA apply his penalty, etc., etc. Sainz 14th, little question mark over him. He had a hefty shunt on the exit of turn 1 and the entry to turn 2. Really, it was the exit of turn 2, isn't it? Lost it on the exit of turn 1, spun and into the wall at turn 2 with the rear of the car getting quite a wallop. So we'll see what happens there. 15th of Pierre Gasly, which again, I said this earlier, was a shame because he was going well earlier this weekend, but caught out as well by red flags and all sorts going on, I'm sure. Lewis Hamilton was knocked out in Q1. He was 16th. Just didn't hook the lap up at all. Just the car on board looked all over the place, but obviously rain, it's going to do that anyway. But Ollie Behrman, again, given how he's performed this weekend, frustrating to see him down in 17th place, but he did out-qualify his teammate, so that's something. Tricky conditions, actually, so hopefully he can come through from there. Franco Colapinto, 18th for Williams. He, too, has a question mark against his name. He crashed at turn 3, wasn't it? We decided in the end, entry to turn 3. Not a huge accident, so should be good for Williams to repair that, but obviously you never know in Formula 1. 19th, Nico Hulkenberg on a 1:31.6, and then Zhou Guanyu last in 20th place, although I'd be surprised if Zhou Guanyu starts last, given what has gone here. So once again, Norris on pole for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, and just to confirm as well, Yuki Tsunoda has been reviewed, no further investigation. So Yuki Tsunoda is third on the grid. So that's the good news. No further investigation for Yuki Tsunoda for crossing the line at pit entry. So, breathe a sigh of relief. So it's Norris on pole, Russell second, Tsunoda third, followed by Ocon, Lawson, Leclerc, Albon, Piastri, Alonso, and Stroll? Question mark. I'm off to bed. I don't know if we're going to do the race later. If you are disappearing, we'll stay live for a few more minutes, but if you are disappearing now, thank you very much for your company. Hopefully see you on the race reaction later. Please leave a like before you go and subscribe if you are new as well, so you don't miss that race reaction. Thank you to Stim Shady for subscribing. Really appreciate that. Good name. I like that one. So yes, won't be live for the race because I like to watch the race, and if I'm doing a race reaction, I need to be paying attention to it and taking notes, really. So, but I will be live after the race with Stuart, whatever happens, to discuss whatever the hell has gone on this weekend. But yeah, a lot of work. Hey, John T. Says someone saying caffeine and steroids to Williams and Aston immediately. They're going to need a lot. Hey, JJ. They're going to need a lot of work and that at Aston. They've got 2 cars to repair at Aston. One really badly damaged and one not so badly damaged. And then at Williams, they've got the same, haven't they? Yeah. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Just remember, when you are looking at the times, by the way, on screen now, they are not the fastest sector times because obviously they go back round again, so that's their set times to pits. The times are correct, the gaps are the correct ones. Thank you to Jason for subscribing as well, by the way. Laps are the correct ones. The gap to the leader is the correct ones. The sector times are wrong and the tyres are correct. So just to let you know, I did try and sort that last week. I'll try and do it again, but I can't seem to get one that stays up for more than a couple of minutes because it goes dead quite quickly. So there we go. What can I say? Fastest sector times, if you want to know. Purple in the first sector was Esteban Ocon on a 21.386, and then Norris got the other 2 sectors, 43.8 in the middle and 17.9 in the final sector. So yes, it is done. Anisha Pro, it's all done. All finished for this morning or now this afternoon. But again, I'll say it again. Deep breath. There is a race this afternoon, 12:30 p.m. Brazil time, 3:30 UK, 10:30 Eastern time, because of course everything has been brought forward because of the rain this afternoon. The latest weather forecast, FYI, is for, we're not getting above 20 degrees by the look of it, and it's sort of stayed the same from the last time. So 12:30 local time, it is 74% chance of rain, so 4% worse than it was earlier, and then it kind of jumps up to about 80% from 1 o'clock, and then it starts to fall away as the afternoon goes on. So if it is too wet to race at the current scheduled time for lights out, there is a possibility that we might get it in a little bit later, but obviously they've got to think about light as well. And just to let you know, from the meteorological people in Brazil, there is a yellow alert for heavy rain in the area, so it isn't just going to rain, it could come down quite heavily. So the race is scheduled for 12:30 local time, That doesn't mean we're gonna get there. I really hope we do, though, because it's what a session that was, and what a race we potentially could have this afternoon. So let's do some predictions then. Who have you got in chat? Livo wants to know predictions for how many finishes. We'll do that in a minute. But who have you got for the win today? I feel like, chat, I'll read some out as well and give shout outs for those. But I feel like you can go a little bit bolder today, because if that session's anything to go by, and the rest of the weekend, who the hell knows? I'll be more than slightly miffed, to be fair, Red Raven, if this race doesn't go ahead, because what a shame if we were offered that grid. But then I seem to think the grid for Spa 2021 was pretty cool as well, with Russell on the front row. So yeah, it could happen, couldn't it? But I'd be devastated. Yeah, very true. The editor of the F1 channel will have a hard time editing this into a short highlights video. Absolutely. So yeah, get your predictions in. I'll read some out as well. Thank you again to Jason for subscribing. I think I did that one, but I'll say it just again to make sure that I did. We're nearly at 400 likes as well, so that'd be great if we could hit that one too. 18 starters, says Mr. Bungle. Jonty's gone with 17 starters. What do we think? You've got Sainz, I hope I'm wrong. I can't see Albon not starting in the pit lane. That's got to be possible engine, gearbox, and maybe chassis. Christian Horner saying, and I think this is something Jonty may agree with. He doesn't often agree with Christian Horner. I'll ask him. I'm going to ask him in chat now. Christian Horner just saying there to Sky that when there is a crash like that, we shouldn't be waiting for drivers to finish laps. It should be an immediate red flag. That said, he's saying what I was saying. Lance Stroll wasn't trying to get that car moving because the rear wheel was hanging off. So in fairness, I'm agreeing with Christian Horner here. But let's just be clear here. If McLaren had missed out and the Red Bulls were through, he probably wouldn't be saying this. It's the game. It's the game in Formula One. Points for Sauber, says Pascal, praying. Bottas 11th, I think it's possible today for a point or two. That would be amazing. I think they are going to end up, I'm afraid, Pascal in last place. That's probably not going to shock you in the championship, but a couple of points. I don't want to see a team with no points. That's a shame. Fodge agrees with Horner. Raoul's like, but think of the drama. Absolutely. Paul has called it a legendary weekend already. Annette has said Lando for the win, Oscar, and then Max, 17 starters. Okay, there you go. Bottas did get a little bit. I think a lot of people got screwed by the Reds in the end, didn't they? Ocon wins, says Red Raven. 17 start, 13 finish. Kevin says, I think I saw Latifi hanging around. Why not? Heinrich says, I think Norris will crash on the start. It's one of those races, isn't it? It could be one of those races. We'll see. This is anyone's race. Who can make it stick at the wet corners the longest? Says 31 Blaze. Absolutely. It's one of those. Stuart said it earlier in chat. It's raceable, or we hope it's raceable, but one mistake, one tiny mistake, and it's all over. And that's just on the line. That's what we want it with Formula 1, isn't it? Miko says Max, Alonso, Bottas, Norris are usually all great in the rain. I thought it was your prediction then. I was like, wow, that's a hell of a race. I'll take that. But yeah, Michael says we didn't have Magnussen. We know he can get pole in challenging Interlagos weather. Absolutely. Help with red flags, but yes. Livo says Leclerc P1, Ocon P2, Lando P3. Mr. Bungle said 18 starts. I think I said that, but I'll do it again. Colin says Norris to win. He'll want this golden opportunity. This is his opportunity, isn't it? This really, really is. Raul says race start in 3 hours, less than that to fix the cars. Boy, oh boy, it's gonna be busy, isn't it? Very, very busy. Can't see Alonso starting. Says Russell. All round edit says Tsunoda top 3. That'd be great. Varun says Russell for the win, Lando 2, and Charles 3rd with Max 6th. Oh, one for the ages. I like that, Paula. That's a good line. It's going to be a Senna Donington race, says Kevin. Oh, if you haven't seen that, go and find the highlights or some shot. Oh, just that first lap. Wow. That's how you recover from a bad start, by the way. Mr. Bung says Alonso and Colapinto won't start. How many pins for Bottas or points, Brad? Pins? No idea. Points? I'll go 2. I'll say 9th place. Why not? Verstappen was eliminated twinkle play. Session's over now. He was 12th. But he'll take a 5-place grid drop as well for his engine penalty. Tsunoda win. Says Harsh Deep. Why not? I'd love a Tsunoda. Could you imagine? Or a Lawson win. That'd be amazing. I think I'd just pass out if Lawson was to win this race. It'd be brilliant. Yeah, Alex Fourth says, yeah, it depends if he starts, I suppose. I hope he does. I'll tell you what we'll do then. Before we finish the stream, let me just go and have a quick check on what teams are saying on socials. I'll also have a quick check of the PF1 chat and see if there's anything in there for me to what they're saying. See if anything's been said from Williams, spokes folks, and people. Spokes folks, love it. They're all going for lunch. That's a disgrace. Absolute disgrace. Can't see anything, and I'll check socials in just a second because I would like to know. So Hamilton did say, I don't have any hopes for that race. Just going to do what I can with the car I have right now. It's the worst I've ever driven, so I probably won't be going very far with it. Maybe I'll start from the pit lane, and I don't know. We'll see, but it's undrivable. So possible pit lane start for Lewis Hamilton. Maybe he's thinking setup changes, potentially. Nothing in there, but let me just check. I don't know if Williams have tweeted to say, holy crap, guys, what have we got to do? I'd be very surprised if they said anything like that, but I'll go and check anyway. They may have said something. Not the end to quality we wanted, with tricky conditions throughout the session. Alex finishes P7 with Franco P18, so nothing on there. And I'm assuming it'll be a very similar kind of thing from Aston Martin as well. They're not going to tell us too much at the moment. Our qualifying comes to an end early. Fernando went off at turn 11 during Q3 and Lance at turn 3 in Q2. The team is working flat out to get both AMR 24s ready for the start of the Brazil GP. Of course, that curious situation this weekend where it's called the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, but we all use the hashtag Brazil Grand Prix because, you know, there you go. I think just the hashtag would be too long, wouldn't it, otherwise? And Hash just confirming it is 10:30 a.m. New York time. I thought it was Eastern time, yes. Chris Medland, Verstappen calls it bullshit to Sky Sports that it took 40 seconds for the red flag, said it should have been red straight away. I think his lap would have been deleted anyway for the double waved yellows, wouldn't it? But then he might have got a shot again if there's more time on the clock. So 40 seconds does seem bizarre. Like I say, it's the fact that the stewards, it's the fact that apparently the FIA were waiting to give it every opportunity to get him going, is what Crofty said. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. But the fact that his rear wheel's hanging off, I mean, come on, it was obvious it was going to be red flag. So nothing just yet. We'll see what happens. Apparently Williams have confirmed that Albon isn't going to start on Insta. Thank you, guys. Let me just go and check that. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just going to go and check. I'm assuming... Click, 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 click. Let's see what they've said. There's nothing on Insta that I can see. Unless I'm missing something. If it's a recording, I won't play it because it'll pick up on the mic, obviously. But I'm just trying to see if there's anything. Ooh, let's try that one. It might be on that. I think I see where you're looking now. Let's have a look. I've got nothing here on Albon not starting. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just I can't see it. So you might have to be, unless you mean F1's Insta. F1 app on iPhone. Thank you, Brad. Let me just double check. Sorry if I get quiet, by the way. I'm 38 and I'm a man. I can't I can't multitask at all. Let's see what's being said here. Nothing's coming up for me at all, weirdly. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll see if anything comes up before then. I feel like we'd have had something through. It wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't start. That was a heck of a whack. But I can't see anything officially official. I can't see anything there. So I'll take your word for it. It wouldn't surprise me if that is the case, but I can't seem to get through to I wonder if it's on the 2 secs. There might be a way I can do this. Hang on. If any sound comes through now, please don't destroy me, Formula One. It was not intentional. They're just, yeah. Sometimes they put a little, or there is a live blog that goes out. So let me see if there's anything going on there. Commentary. Big championship moment switches. A mixed up grid for today's race. Weather should the weather be hay? We have Norris on pole, Russell second, Ocon Haas. With it remaining to be seen if Williams can get 2 cars to the start line after that. Yeah, so there's nothing here confirmed from F1 that I can see. Again, I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying I can't see anything at the moment. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the coming moments. But there's a lot, isn't there? Unofficially, official is all we have. There you go, Brad. I like that. Hey Clay, hope you well. We're just about to end the stream actually, mate, so sorry about that. But yeah, just your final reminder, because I will keep reminding you, the race is on at 12:30 local time, 3:30 in the UK, 10:30 in Eastern time. That is just under 3 hours from now, to keep it simple. So just under 3 hours from now. So very, very quickly, just if you are just tuning in, thank you for your company, by the way. We're just tuning in. Norris on pole if we get a race this afternoon. We'll see what the weather does. But Norris on pole, Russell second, Tsunoda third, Ocon fourth, Lawson fifth, Leclerc sixth, Albon seventh, Piastri eighth, Alonso ninth, Stroll 10th. Then it's Bottas, Verstappen, Perez, Sainz and Gasly 11th to 15th. Then it's Hamilton, Behrman, Colapinto, Hulkenberg and Zhou 16th to 20th. But Colapinto crashed. Should be okay to start. We'll see if they can get the car out there. Sainz had quite a hefty whack as well. See if they can get the car repaired and whether he can start. Question marks over Stroll and Alonso as well. They both crashed. Alonso heavier than Stroll. So probably the question mark there is Alonso, and unconfirmed rumours and reports that Albon may not start the race this afternoon because his crash was probably the biggest of the lot. So we'll see what's happening. So I won't be streaming the race, unfortunately, because I do the race reaction afterwards. I have to do the race reaction afterwards. And if I've kind of explained before, but I'll keep it short. If I do a race watch along, I'm not taking notes and I'm not really watching the race. So it's very difficult to then do a race reaction afterwards. And people said that when I used to do them, I used to always do them. And people said to me, quite a lot that, you know, it was quite obvious you weren't watching the race or paying attention. So if we're doing race reactions, I'd rather just watch the race and then react to it. However, if people would prefer watch alongs, then I'd be happy to do those instead. I'm just going to check something very quickly before we go. Yeah, nothing as of yet. I'm just trying to double check to see if there is anything from Albon or Williams. Some say in chat Albon's confirmed it himself, so we'll see if anything gets officially confirmed. Speaking to F1 after the session, Albon says he's out for the race. So to let you know, so that's the official unofficial line we're talking about here. So the regulations will allow that car to be fixed, but it's got to be fitted with obviously the same specification. So you can change chassis, you can change engine and all of that. But Williams do not have a spare chassis here. Is what... Oh, no, sorry, this is not the same. I'm trying to read two things at once there. They have got a spare chassis, but there can be no time to change it by the look of it. So Alex Albon, although the team, as far as I can see, haven't confirmed it, Alex Albon has said to F1 after the session he is out of the race. So we are, as it stands, down to 19 runners for the Grand Prix, which is such a shame for Albon in 7th place. What an opportunity in their battle with Alpine to, especially with Ocon up in 4th, that's a nightmare for Williams. So Albon has said he won't start. Williams, as I sit here and say this, haven't confirmed it, but if Alex Albon's saying it, then there's a good chance that he won't be able to. So anyway, but yeah, that just to go back to that point, that's why I don't do the race watch along and the reaction. But if people prefer a watch along, I would do that instead. But the feedback I've had from most of you is that you prefer a reaction to a race watch along. But we will be live, whatever happens after whatever race we get, and if we do get a race, whatever madness unfolds, to discuss that race and the weekend as a whole. But I am going to end the stream there. Thank you so much for your company this afternoon. Please do drop a like. You got us over 400 in the end. You guys are fantastic. Please do drop a like before you go, and subscribe as well if you're new, so you don't miss that race reaction later today. Thank you to Baffy Taffy, by the way, great name, for subscribing. Please do subscribe so you don't miss that reaction later. Of course, content as well between now and Vegas, and then we've got 3 races to finish the season as well, with watch-alongs and reactions and previews and all of that business. Can't believe there's 3 to go after this weekend, but this is going to be a lot of fun. Don't forget, final reminder, 12:30 local time for the race, 3:30 UK, 10:30 Eastern time, just under 3 hours from now. This could be a lot of fun. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.